4-4 English champion. She's won the Thurso event, I think, 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
So she was almost a shoe-in for a final. But yeah, Lauren Sandon, only 14 years old, 15 maybe.
A real talent, and certainly a girl to look out for.
A major upset there. And also in the Open, we had a massive upset with probably one of the favourites, Jay Quinn, going out in the quarterfinals earlier on today.
So Jay Quinn, originally from New Zealand, now surfing for Wales, and he won the Welsh title. He went over to the British Championships in Jersey, won that. So himself and Jace Robinson on the British team.
And he was ranked number 2 on the tour last year. He finished behind Ruben Ash in first place. So that's probably the biggest upset in the Open by far.
Which we're cutting right to the Open right now. We've got the semi-final about to start. So in the semi-finals we have, and this is a stellar lineup, isn't it? No,
these are both finals.
They certainly could be. So we've got Seth Morris, Ruben Ash, Murray Strout, and Russell Winter. A name you might have heard before.
Yeah. Russie, he's getting back into it. As you can see the surf on your screen there, slightly bigger than yesterday. We have a different wind direction, and we're going to bring in one of our specialists. We have Kat from Kat's Surf Forecast. She's going to be joining us this evening as well. So she's going to be telling us about wind directions and swell size. She has her own YouTube channel and also on Instagram. So it's going to be nice to have Kat come in and talk about
let's be honest,
the weather side of things.
Add a bit of glamour to this webcast.
A bit more glamour.
Even more glamour. More glamour.
Yeah, obviously.
So in the water we have Russ Winter in the blue, Liam Murray Strout in the yellow, Ruben Ash in the white, and Seth Morris. Seth has been ripping, actually.
Seth is ripping. He won the British under-18s in Jersey a couple of weeks ago, and we have Ruben Ash, who's the defending tour champion for the Open. Liam Murray Strout is no slouch at all. He made the final last year at this event. And obviously Russell Winter, the only Brit to ever make it onto the WCT, former English, British, European champion, and an event champion here as well. So this is an absolutely stacked semi-final.
And he's obviously a Newquay local.
Well, he's a local, the only local in this semi-final. So he should have a little bit of local knowledge. The tide is still coming in. High tide today is round about 10 o'clock this evening. We're going to be surfing through until about 11 o'clock. We have 6 finals. All coming up after the 2 Open semi-finals. That was the first wave there for Liam Murray.
And you know, I find this camera angle really deceiving. It looks, a little bit backlit.
Yeah.
You see a bit of action there, but actually when you're standing here in real life, the sun is glaring.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to see these surfers. So for our camera crew, congratulations team, you are doing a stellar job. It's so difficult to pick out the surfers, and the judges will be getting retinal operations.
Well, they get assistance by 2 spotters. So there's 3 judges, there's a head judge, and there's 2 spotters as well, just to make sure that every call is made as a surfer's paddling for a wave. They'll say blue paddling, blue up, first turn, just to let the judges know that that's who they're actually looking at.
And you can see the kind of aperture struggling in the cameras just as the light flares off these waves.
Yeah, we do switch from we have 2 cameras following today's action, and we do also have a roving reporter. I think Sam Smart is back. Not sure what Sam's been up to today. I haven't actually seen him, to be fair. But he was in competition yesterday, unfortunately getting knocked out, and that looked like a Russie Winter snap, possibly in the blue there.
So we're coming up to a high tide at just before 10 o'clock, 9:57. We've got a high tide of 6.4 meters, which is a relatively high tide.
It's not a bad sized tide, yeah. It does fill in. Last night the waves were very unpredictable. They were breaking and then backing off. You had to be on the real special waves to get these maneuvers on the outside all the way through the inside. But they are out there. There is some diamonds in the rough if you're in the right place. 20-minute heats, obviously. That's what we run yesterday. Best 2 waves, no wave max. Catch as many waves, fill your boots as far as wave catching goes.
And it's a challenging environment to get your scores. We've had a lot of heats out here, this sort of stage of tide, where there's a few really good shaped waves. You get a few sections, but then it goes fat like this, so it's a little bit soft. And you just have to keep working and keep your board moving to see it. And even now, the wave might still offer something up, but he decides, no, do you know what? There's nothing left on here. But occasionally, high tide Fistral, sort of 2/3 tide Fistral, has these fun little bowls, doesn't it?
Yeah, high tide. Hopefully the tide isn't going to be too high that it kind of stops breaking, but it's a bigger swell today with a better wind direction, so we should have much better surfing through the finals, which are going to start, we think, about 9 o'clock.
Well, to be honest, we've only got 2 men's semi-finals, so
and then
in 40 minutes time We start with the under 14 girls final, then the under 14 boys final, then the under 18 girls final, then the under 18 boys, and then we hit that high tide mark, and then we should be going straight into the women's final, and we'll finish with the men's open final. And then there'll be a presentation at 11 o'clock. It's way past my bedtime.
Well, Nick Williams has come out of retirement to do this event. I don't know if anyone was following us last year, but Nick Williams retired after the tour, and he just couldn't stay away. He's back now. He's next door giving out the beach scores, telling the surfers their requirements and stuff like that.
So while we sit here and talk absolute nonsense and just say it as we see it, the beach commentator's job is actually really quite difficult, because you have to relay the judges' scores to the surfers in the water, give them updates on the time.
And they can't elaborate like we do on waves. When they can't tell the surfers there's a set coming, that they can't be preferential towards somebody and not somebody else.
They certainly can't go, oh my goodness, here's Russell Winder, he's going to take this wave apart, and what, the judges only gave him a 4, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's our job.
That's our job, you're not really allowed to do that on the beach commentary. The beach commentary goes out live to everybody on the beach. The judges can hear it, the surfers can hear it.
It's more informational. It's how long's left in the heat, your wave scores, your position and requirements. And if you use a priority system, they also relay priority, even though the surfers do have a visual representation of priority. But we're not using it this event. Here we go, Ruben Ash, little pop shove it there.
So would that score?
No, incomplete and totally useless.
So this is one of the very harsh things about surfing, I always think, that you can get the best barrel, like or do the craziest air, and if it's incomplete, which means if you don't ride out of it standing on your feet in control, you get no score for it, and in theory.
The judges are really switched onto that, and the head judge will reiterate that as well. So here goes Ruben again, quick up and down. Keep him busy, which is what you kind of do in this kind of surf, because it's a very short wave period. You have to just catch waves, and one of them is going to give you a score. Or do you play the patience game?
Do you know what? I was always guilty of playing the patience game.
I
would sit out the back and wait for the bomb sets, and usually get one good one in a heat, and then need a 2.5 to get through and never get it. So on a day like this, I think the best option is succumbrancy. Just paddle for it, stay busy. Like we said, those sections, like let's have a look at this. That
could be Liam, was that? Or it could be Seth in the red.
Yeah.
Looks like a red to me. A couple of scores coming through on your screen, as you can see. So Seth Morris, under 18's British champion at the moment, from Wales originally, but he now lives in and represents England.
Ruben Ash slightly got stuck on the lip there, but he's just trying to find a bit of rhythm, trying to make something happen. So 3 turns already. Can he finish it? Slightly safe wave, but possibly the best wave we've seen so far in the heat.
It's going to be a score. The judges are probably going to look at that and go mid 3, high 3, possibly. It'd be because we haven't really been watching the scores and the waves. It's we need to get our heads into what the judges are looking at.
Do you think that'll go up in the low 4s, maybe?
Maybe low 4.
Again, it's difficult, isn't it? There was 4 turns. He got a little bit stuck. There wasn't really an exclamation mark at any point during that wave.
You didn't really see Seth or Ruben's 3.3s or 3.8 and a 3.3, so it's hard to get a gauge. But I'd be surprised if that went up into the 4s. The judges want to see rail, commitment, speed, tick all the boxes, speed, power, flow, all that kind of stuff.
So what's interesting is that the judges take a long time to drop their scores. So
what they relate to, the scores have just dropped for Ruben now, 6.6 and a 5.1. We're not sure if that was that last wave, or they could be previous waves that the judges are just catching up on.
So as we start seeing the scores drop, and as we start seeing the surfers and start correlating the waves, we'll be able to get a gauge, like you say, of the judges' scale.
Yeah. I just use my recycled cup.
We should mention this actually. So this is the night surf presented by Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire, but also it's been supported in no small terms by Clean Breaks. So check out UK Pro Surf Tour /Clean Breaks, which is supported by the 2-Minute Beach Clean as well as Altco. So Altco is a company that's doing really cool stuff. They make resin driveways, but they actually have recycling stations. So they have stations around different beaches where you bring your plastics and it goes into these recycling bins. But instead of just being recycled, I'll get that in a second as we see up and riding.
I'm going to say that's red again, Seth. Keep him busy. Very smooth, powerful surfer. He's really starting to grow into his body. Because he was a junior, he still is a junior, competing in the Open. And this wave's going to stand up all the way through the inside.
A nice finish, a little bit soft. It didn't quite connect to throw the sprayer, and that's interesting in these conditions. That was a nicely surfed wave though, nice and smooth. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of score that gives us as we see out the back. Ruben Ash, a little pop shove it.
Got stuck.
He's going backwards. He's
got
backwards.
Stuck in reverse.
I didn't know he was a natural foot.
How's he going to get out of this?
Oh, you needed to spend a bit more time switch.
Yeah.
That was interesting. That's a hard thing with a pop shove, isn't it? You do your pop shove it,
and you stood the wrong way.
You stood standing up, switch.
You just go to wide stance, keep it central.
You know, the thing is that there's about 2-3 people in the country that can do that turn on a regular basis. But is it a trick that the judges kind of ignore, like a drop hop, or is it something that they will reward with a decent score?
Like a functional maneuver compared to a trick. So here's Liam Murray-Strout. Little tail kick, grabs a rail, couldn't finish that rotation. So again, that will be deemed incomplete by the judges. They want to see you ride out of these maneuvers.
Ruben Ash, a little pop shove it.
Stuck. Normally you can kind of stick a hand in and it will spin you around the opposite way. So what you've seen there is he's goofy foot. So he has his right foot forward. He's popped up in the air.
So he's comfortable now, but going backwards.
Yeah. You can see he kicks with his left leg to flick the tail around to the nose. Ruben very good at skateboarding as well, so this is kind of a skateboard maneuver. And then he lands it, and you normally rotate out of it really quick.
And then try and step around
or
jump around.
Ruben kind of got a little bit stuck going backwards, fins first, which isn't easy.
Ruben Ash, a little pop shove it. He's going backwards.
And he sticks with going natural, and then it just went Pete Tong from there, went downhill rapidly.
So we're just about halfway through the heat. Things are starting to take shape. Ruben's obviously had a couple of good waves at the start. I've got a feeling that 517 might have been that wave that we caught up with. I don't think it was a 667.
No.
That would have taken a couple of
unless he did something further out the back that we didn't catch on camera. Like I say, we got two people out there with the cameras doing their best as the sun starts to come round. They're literally looking directly into the sunlight as the evening progresses.
And so just to come back to it, this is brought to you.
You're going to continue with Olco.
Yes, so the night surf is brought to you as well. Oh, goodness me. Can these surfers stop interrupting us? Here we go, Russ Winter.
Always time for Russ Winter.
Oh, stay on him. Guys.
What happened there? That's Russ. He's got a pair of twos at the moment.
He went too fast. He surfed off screen.
And the requirements you see on screen are for first place. Just a heads up. First and second will move on through. So this will become a lot more obvious in the final when you want to win. So you need a requirement for first place.
But it's a maths exercise as well.
Yeah.
So currently the total for second place Seth Morris is 8.56. Liam Murray-Strout, for example, has a 3.33. So he roughly needs a 5. He needs a 5.2 to get into second, roughly. So just real quick, while we've got no action on the screen, we are also being brought to you by Clean Breaks, who have partnered up with the 2 Minute Beach Clean. And the best place to check out Clean Breaks is ukprosurf.com/Clean Breaks. And the big partner for Clean Breaks is Altco. And Altco are a couple of local Newquay surfers who have got a company which does resin driveways. So when you get that really cool kind of
very smooth underfoot.
And normally it's made with gravel or concrete or things like that. So what they're actually doing is taking this recycled plastic, grinding it down into really small particles, and plastic is perfect because it stays around for ages and it's durable. They mix it with resin and then make these amazing surfaces, driveways, you can make halls with it, factory floors, that kind of thing.
For an example, a metre square of this stuff has the equivalent of 3,000 straws. So if you have a 50 metre square drive...
Which if you had to go out and buy the straws would suck.
Yeah.
But if you collect
literally, I see what you did there.
Hey!
Sorry. So yeah, if you had a 50 metre square drive, that's 150,000 straws would be in your driveway. And what they do is they actually resin in a plaque of how many straws, the equivalent straws you would have used doing your drive or your patio. So
that's amazing.
The main thing is they're recycling unrecyclable plastic, which would just end up in landfill.
So it's difficult. I think it's perfect. It's a perfect solution for something which you wanted to stay around. You want your driveway, you want the floor in your industrial building to last for as long as you possibly can
and look cool
and look awesome.
And it does.
And the cool thing with Clean Breaks is that they also highlight other people doing cool stuff. So people who have refill stores, people who are doing 2 Minute Beach Cleans, that kind of thing. So check out.
It's all good publicity.
It is.
I mean, they sponsored us on tour, so every tour member now gets their recyclable cup.
I think this is an oversight. You should have had a pink cup.
And we also get.
See, I'm all blue here. This is it. Look, I colour coordinate. Do you not get the memo? Where's your pink shirt?
I'm wearing this.
Nice.
Sponsor me for today. But yeah, so we're taking every event we go to around the UK. We'll be doing a beach clean at the actual event site as well. So we're just trying to do our best, and anyone wants to join in, feel free to do so. Please do.
All right. So I think the nice thing is with these kinds of organisations, there's a lot of people doing a lot of really good stuff. Whether it's Surfers Against Sewage or Surf Rider Foundation, there's so many amazing people. Even Extinction Rebellion, all that's kind of a bit more controversial.
In your face, yeah.
But the whole point is we're all trying to do the best for our planet, because without it we're kind of screwed. So the best thing is to all do our bit.
It's for the kids. Well, we were saying, you don't have to spend money to help. You can literally go to your nearest beach or countryside, take a bin bag with you, and just fill it up with rubbish that you see kicking around.
Talking of not rubbish things, here's Ruben Ash finishing nice and strong. Oh,
tray 60 there for Rubes, trying to extend his lead. Russell Winters moved out of fourth, 4.83 now moves Russ into second, so he needs a 3.5, around about 3.5, 3.6 to move up into second place.
And that wave we saw of Seth Morris's, the nice smooth 4 turns kind of carves. The one thing I would say is that there was a singular speed on that. It was lovely, it was carving, he did the right turns in the right place, but there was no sort of changing a gear up. Sometimes when you see the top level surfers, they seem to drive their bottom turn, and it's kind of at this certain speed, and it's full of power, and then there's an increase in speed through the lip line or through the carve. You were saying before, Taylor Knox, for example, with his cutback, where he would set a rail,
accelerates through his turn,
and you have that standard speed. Here we go. Having a quick look,
quick up and down again,
and it really is. Look at that wave. I mean, so he
dived. That looked like it was going to be a nice left as well.
But so he would have looked at that wave and thought, do you know what, there might be something on this. And just 2 seconds after he's taken off, it turns into a flat burger.
Well, some events you have a wave max, whereas there's no wave max. Here he's going again. This is Seth, I think, in the red. First snap, and then kind of almost a little drop wallet cut back there. So this is a replay, I believe. Is that a replay, Henry? Or did we just slow down there? Time actually slowed down on that turn. That was so weird. I thought, well done, Henry. That was perfect timing, and you just sat there eating chips. Nice. So,
here we go.
Ruben again, keeping busy. Ruben is always one of these surfers that catches a lot of waves in a heat. He's never one to sit and wait unless there's a priority usage.
It's a really difficult decision to make, because if you're feeling confident, and like a Philippe Toledo, for example. Oh, here we go. Again, just having a look.
Do you know this Seth's style has a very, very slight Luke Dillon-esque stance about him?
Solid.
Yeah. When he takes off, he just does this little fade, and his left arm is very
similar. Go. That's Russ Winter.
Wiping the face.
Sonny Garcia style. Oh, so that, I think that will catch the judge's attention. The fact that he's put his rail in the water, and the spray that you saw, he's working this one through. Has he got a little inside section and finishes? So I think with 2.5 minutes to go, he might get
the score.
I think that could go up into the nearest 6. I'm going to say. Yeah. You go, oh, who was that?
You can throw a 6 at that. Okay, here we go. Ruben again, keeping busy, and the tide still pushing. So this is just past mid tide here at north end of Fistral.
We've only got. Do you know what? It's almost 9 o'clock, so we've got just over an hour before high tide.
Yeah. So definitely it should improve as we go on through the evening. And the big question is, how badly is the sun going to affect everything?
Well, it's going to affect it really bad once it goes under the horizon.
Wow. Well, then we've got the spotlights.
We have got spotlights. Oh, here we go. So what's happening here? Why is he waving his arms in the air?
I believe that's Seth Morris in the red. So he's asking for a situation, which means he needs to know where he is in the heat, who's behind him, what that person needs, or even how long's left. A lot of surfers still don't surf with watches. You were a watch surfer, weren't you? You weren't.
I was. And do you know what? I got to the point where I was using my watch so much that I was starting to detract from my focus in the heat. I would look at my watch and go, okay, I've got 6 minutes to go. Here we go. This is an important wave. He decides it's not enough. So, yeah, I used to look at my watch all the time, and it was just starting to detract me too much. And I was going to say detract from the enjoyment I had in the heat. I never enjoyed my heats that much unless I got 2.8 in the first 5 minutes, and then I really enjoyed my heats. But then you do, I think, towards right at the end. Did you used to wear a watch?
Always wanted to know what the time was.
Because,
and the annoying thing was, other people in my heat would ask how long's left. Do you know what I mean?
And you just
as if I'm going to tell you.
There's maybe 23 minutes left.
Yeah, I've got loads of time.
So, coming down to the last minute, we're just waiting for Russell Winter's last score. I had a feeling it's going to go into the mid-5s, maybe low 6s. We're just waiting for that to drop. Seth Morris is eagerly waiting to hear what Nick on the beach commentary says. So with 45 seconds to go, they're sitting in the water and he's waiting to hear desperately. The judges, there we go, a 5.4 for Russ Winter's last wave.
So now Seth is in trouble.
Well, he effectively needs a 5.5. As we see Ruben Ash just finishing his wave.
So Ruben's a contest machine. He's been doing this since he was like 14 years old.
But that's so counterintuitive because for years he was known as the best free surfer in the country.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Russ was the contest machine. Yeah. Ruben Ash is free surfer extraordinaire. And the fact that he's got this contest game on is really good to see.
I mean, what he's done is basically taken his free surfs and applied it to a heat format. Because he still does airs. It's not like he's stopped doing aerials and all the the crazy stuff that he can do.
Wow, so there we go. It looks like we have our first two finalists, Russell Winter and Ruben Ash. And to be honest, you look right at the start of the heat draw, they're two names you circle.
Yep, I thought Seth was going to be the danger man, and he was for most of that heat. So here's a little recap. And this was, we thought that was a little bit mistimed. He did get 6. Not sure if it was this wave or not.
We didn't think it was mistimed. We knew it was mistimed.
Yeah.
But still, I think that's his mid-5.
He did finish strong. So, and this is Seth in the blue.
So again, there, a little bit soft.
Yeah.
This drive, again, it's not quite as committed. I think if he was free surfing and he fully committed to each one of those turns, you're looking at a 7.5 there.
Because this wave just kept walling up, and he's stuck in the same position, but it looked like the tide came in and that right hander just stopped working. But it's very deceiving. Here's that little pop shove it from Ruben. I'm hoping that didn't get a big score because I don't like that at all.
Lee, well, that's harsh.
If he had rotated quickly out of it, I think he knows he got stuck in that position.
And I think this is the wave that got Russell through. It's this turn, this right turn right here. Hold on one second.
No, there. Especially with the backlit as well, with the sun shining through the spray, it kind of highlights it for the judges. So as you say, our first two open finals, and now we're going into
semi-final number 2.
And we have
Ash.
Actually, we're going to go to an advert. We'll be back after a very short break, and then we're going to introduce semi-final number 2 of the Open. So do not go away. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Maybe. Henry pushed the button.
Whatever generation you're in, you need to be responsible in the environment that you're in. We're not doing a great job because it's something that I don't remember as a kid. It's a world community of people coming together and trying to solve this problem, and that's amazing to see. So we've got a chance to rectify it, and I see it in front of my very own eyes, and that's happening.
Chorar se amanhã é carnaval. Se amanhã é carnaval.
So welcome back to the Night Surf, presented by Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire. We are into semi-final number 2 of the Open. And Sam, you've just got a lovely picture from your...
Oh, here we go. Before we do
straight into
that.
it. Who is that in yellow? Who got in this heat?
So we've got Joss Ash in the red, Barnaby Cox in the white, in the yellow that was Jace Robinson we just saw, and Stanley Norman, again, a highly touted young British surfer, so exciting to watch these guys in the heat. And I've just got a real quick one while there's a quick lull in the action. I've just been sent this little ditty, if you can see it. There's my two kids, Huxley and Raphael, you two. I'm watching you. Even though I'm here, I'm still there. So, love you loads. But get yourself to bed.
Camera works both ways. We can see exactly what you're doing.
I can see.
Yeah.
So, love you loads and go to bed. Now, back to the action.
This is a good mix. We've got Stanley and Barnaby, both juniors, up against Jace Robinson, who is the current English champion, number 2 in Britain, and Joss Ash, who is on an absolute tear. He didn't compete in the English or the British, but he was blowing up early on, taking out Jay Quinn, probably one of the contest favourites in the quarterfinals.
I mean, Jay Quinn's of such a standard that anytime you beat him, you know you're surfing well. Here we go, Jace Robinson. Oh, again, throwing that tail and just getting hung up there.
Yeah. Jace is one of these super smooth, we were talking about Taylor Knox, who just gains speed as they come on their roundhouse cutbacks, and Jace is one of these guys that's just so stylish but powerful as well. And he's up against 3 aerialists, I would say. That wasn't there.
Well, Jace has got a great air game on him as well.
Yeah.
Stanley Norman definitely has. Joss Ash has been getting tips from his brother, but he's got his own air game as well. And Barnaby as well. So here we go. Let's have a look at this. Barnaby, nice little float. Keeps your speed, and this is so important in these conditions to keep your speed. A little
young
two-stage
Stanley
cutback.
with his blonde hair. He's dyed his hair. Young Stanley Norman.
He looks a little bit like...
Don't say the Milky Bar Kid.
No?
Were you going to say the Milky Bar Kid?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. He does look like Milky Bar Kid, though. But he's surfing extremely well. So Stanley...
And actually, Barnaby Cox and Stanley Norman are both in the under-18 boys final as well, which will be coming up in about 3 heats time after this. So if these guys manage to get through, that's a big ask, you know. And
fatigue does kick in.
Don't you find that when you do competitions, that it's more draining than just a free surf?
Absolutely. You could free. Here we go. Oh, nose dive there. You can free surf for 2 hours, get out quite happy. You can surf for 20 minutes, come out, and you're breathing like you've just run a marathon. It's so weird. It's such a mental game. I think is the hardest thing, which is why a lot of surfers don't compete, because a lot of it is mental. A lot of good surfers can't compete.
It's a trick, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I guess it's the same in any sport. You know, the moment if you walk out on a football pitch and there's 50,000 people shouting your name or booing your name, it adds a whole different dimension to simply kicking a ball or standing up on a surfboard or picking a wave. And then you put the time element in there, you know? Any of these surfers in this competition could get 7s, 8s and 9s given the right wave. Yeah. But you have to do it in 20 minutes with 3 other people absolutely gnawing at your heels to get the best waves off you.
And Stanley getting 5.33. Jace has thrown down a 7.0, which I don't think we caught on camera. So they've taken a very early lead. Barnaby Cox has got a 4.8, and just Joss, I think that first wave rate took off and kicked out. So I think Joss had a solid up in the 7s in his quarterfinals early on. So again, Joss has been that guy that's... I always thought he was going to win at least a couple of British titles.
You did?
Yeah. Just because he's got power, he's got an air game. Oh, Barnaby just bouncing along this right-hander as the tide continues to push in. And nice little re-entry finish there. Thought he was going to kick the fins. Looking for a double up. Body language suggests he's not completely happy with that wave. But it's going to be a second score.
I always feel like when you see surfers who are in sync and they're comfortable, they're confident in their equipment, they seem to be able to time their body and their maneuvers better.
Yeah.
When you're trying to force maneuvers,
yeah,
it's so easy for your shoulders, for your head, for like that slight mistime there. You know, Joss is an amazing surfer, but just now he's going, okay, I've had 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes already, and I haven't put a proper score on the board. He's got 2.3 there. It's not really enough to put him in the mix, and you start to just try to force things, and I think that's when it's difficult, especially in these conditions, to time the sections and to just sync up with these tricky conditions.
And not only that, the judges will pick up on that as well. The judges are very attuned to a surfer, because they would have seen these surfers time and time again. They know when they're surfing well and surfing with confidence, and they know when they're forcing it and panicking. which is what happens towards the end of a heat, where someone in third or fourth just starts scratching for anything, just to stand up and try and get a score when they should be just taking a breath, taking stock of things, and then when a wave comes, then execute what they need to do.
That almost sounds like a YouTube post or an Instagram post of executing. I'm hearing that a lot these days.
Execution.
Do the work, execute. That kind of stuff.
You're not thinking of North Korea by any chance, are you?
No, that's a whole different thing. Here we go. That nice looking section.
This is Joss. Nice first turn. Big frame on Joss. He's about 6'1", 6'2". One of the bigger surfers in this heat. And behind him, that's Barnaby just digging a rail, I think, or Stanley just digging a rail. But Joss got a reform all the way through the inside, but there's been nothing of any substance on this wave.
It's difficult to go up higher than a 4 on that.
Yeah.
You know? Out the back, look at this little section looming up. Jace, good timing. He synced up with that one. And again, that looked good. Even though there wasn't much of a section, he put a lot of power into that.
You got the fins out on that first turn, in the pocket on the second turn. He's up into first place because he's going to replace a 2.1, and he's already got a 7.
So the next score, the nice thing is, now that we've seen that wave from start to finish, we'll start to get a feel for where the judging scale's at.
Because we kind of
high 5, 6 maybe.
Wow, that first turn he got his fins out. It was straight off the bottom, big turn out the back. Yeah, 6.5. Because we didn't see what he did on his 7, it's kind of hard to gauge. And this is Stanley pumping through this section. He's just thinking, give me something. He's been training with Joel Gray down here as well. Gave that air reverse, but wasn't really committed on that.
Oh, and so Barnaby Cox, with that wave we saw, got a 4.83, coupled with his 4.03. He's now up into second. And here he goes, trying to work it through that inside section. Oh, and that was a nice finishing turn. There was a bit of spray, a bit more dynamic. Just connecting, staying busy. She did about 4 turns, backwards and forwards. He did a forehand re-entry, then he came back around, did a backhand re-entry, then he went back around, did a forehand, and another backhand one.
So a bit of change, lots of change of direction. So the score, we're still waiting for scores. There is a slightly delay because there's going to be a lot of waves surfed, and the judges have to make sure they write down the scores properly before they're then put into the computer, and then we get to see them. So if you're wondering where Jace's score is for that long left-hander, it's going to be coming. And there's nothing worse as a surfer waiting for a score, because you don't know whether to wait until you hear, because then you know what you have to beat on your next wave, or do you just catch a wave and then possibly miss your score being read out as you're duck diving?
Especially as we get towards the end of the heat, if you have to block another surfer or stay on them, especially now because you don't have a priority system in place, so it's a bit of a free-for-all. So if you were needing a score, I could then maneuver myself in the last couple of minutes to try to stop you getting a wave. Although if I was chasing the score, the whole dynamic changes,
would reverse.
and you'd be on my case.
But this is where the old argument with wave pools come in.
It's just down to the surfing, not
Yeah,
priority.
that's it. It's just purely on your talent, and not just your talent, how you handle pressure as well. Because in a wave pool, you're in a stadium environment where people are yards away from you, screaming or just shouting at you, which you don't get when you're in the sea.
But there's also that crazy bit of nerves. You've
yeah.
surfed a wave pool as well, haven't
Yeah,
you? Where
yeah.
you sit there in a flat lagoon.
Yeah.
Here we go, and you know a wave's coming. The machine starts up. It
hear
starts
it.
to whir. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's not like, oh, I might get this one, I might not. Here we go. Someone having
It's
a look.
yours and only yours.
Yeah, and you're there by yourself,
Yeah.
going, oh, here we go.
All eyes on you. Under the water created by the plow or whatever the system is that's used to create the waves. Look at that! Look at that shot.
So beautiful. As the sun drops, so do the scores. Here we go. Barnaby Cox just locked in a 4.83 and a 4.73. He takes the lead, but Jace Robinson
Still
was still waiting on that backhand turn where he definitely connected with the lip, did another turn.
I'm thinking, are the scores ahead of our visuals? Could that be a possibility? So that 7 could have been Jace's wave.
Oof.
I know that's something for the tech team to work out.
We are having a few issues syncing of sound and visuals and score feeds. That is a possibility because that potentially could have been a 7.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, that first turn was impressive. He connected it with a good power turn on a rail and then finished it nice and strong.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe the scores are coming through before our visuals.
Amazing, which means we're like Nostradamus. Is that
ahead
two
in-
Nostradamuses?
They're ahead in time, and we're in an alternate universe. Someone else is getting their waves before their scores.
That'd be amazing. How nice would it be before you stand up on a wave that you know what's
Oh,
going
no,
on.
there you go. Score just dropped.
No,
Forget that.
No alternate universes. We're not in the
Forget that
Hadron
whole
Collider
process.
here
Yeah.
today.
Forget string theory. That's out the window.
Here we go.
Barnaby.
Oh, look at this section. He did well to connect with that. Oh no.
But I tell you what, the white balance in this camera definitely helps us visually.
That's incredible. It looks like it's sort of dawn.
It's now broad daylight again. Red behind him is Joss Ash. He's in 3rd. He needs another mid-range 4, maybe a 5. I'm going to say a 5 will see Joss.
That wave didn't quite stand up, and there wasn't that intensity from him. He did well to delay his bottom turn and just time that first maneuver.
But one thing about Joss's surfing is it always looks under control and not rushed, if you know what I mean. You do get some people that looks like they're trying to get things going, and Joss is literally just like a mellow a dude you'll never meet, and it kind of translates into his surfing with flashes of brilliance as well.
Oh, here we go. Oh, throwing the tail there, that was Stanley Norman. So Stanley Norman with that last wave, he's got a pair of 5.33, so he's moved up now. So now Jace Robinson with that 7 and the 6.27 in the lead. Stanley with a 5.53 and a 5.33. Gone up in the second. Barnaby is looking probably for around about I'd say about a 6.5, 6.57.
Just over a point between Stanley and Barnaby there in 2nd and 3rd. Joss has just fallen off the pace a little bit. I think just wave selection for Joss has been a bit of an issue in this second semi-final. So after this, we're going to be starting our finals run. There's 6 finals coming up this evening. Here we go. Heat leader, Jace, just smooth as ever. And didn't do a lot of competition last year. He kind of took a break, but he's back. He took out the English about a month ago. He came 2nd at the British a couple of weeks ago in Jersey. And he's looking smooth as ever.
So he secured his spot on the British team.
Yep.
Going to the ISA Games.
Himself and Jay Quinn. There is one other spot available, which is up to a committee to decide. So you have representatives of England, Wales, Scotland, and the Channel Islands, and they will send who they think is best represented.
I mean, you've got some heavy hitters like Luke Dillon, who hasn't been doing the British contest because he's been away competing on the world circuit.
He's the defending champion of this event, and he's in South Africa warming up for the next event in 5 days' time.
So Luke Dillon's away, and then you've got Ruben Ash as well, a perennial favourite and a fantastic surfer.
Came 2nd at the English this year, so he's in with a shout of being in the team. And the Ice Age Games this year in Japan September, Miyazaki, Japan.
Early September the 7th.
I surfed there in 1990 with a British team in Miyazaki.
Nice place.
Lovely. It was total culture shock. I'd never really been anywhere before, and then we went to Japan for 2 weeks. They have vending machines that sell alcohol. How dangerous is that? But we were athletes, obviously. We didn't go near those things.
Talking of which, today is not only World Ocean Day, it's also World Gin Day. We'll touch on that in a second.
Lots of days today. World Doll Day, World Best Friend Day. Here we go. Josh Ash, very important score for Josh. Watch him go for the air. He doesn't.
Oh, he throws. That has a bit of Johnny Fryer about it. That kind of parallel stance. So he threw the tail there. Let's see what the inside gives him. He needs a big score with a minute and a half, so he needs to make it happen on this wave. So he's lacking a little bit of intensity, I feel.
He's just so smooth. He's going to work it. This is going to be his last chance, maybe.
I tell you what, this wave. Oh my goodness! Look at this section. That just kept on giving us a little fist pump there. So he could really upset the apple cart here, as we see on the taken off on the right-hander there.
He needs a 6.3. He's going to need a 6.3 to move up into second place.
That first turn, I don't know if we can get a replay on that, but that was impressive. It was
kicked the fins out. He had to reposition his feet. Did really well to hold on, and then it just linked up. One of the longest waves we've seen today.
It's going to be round about that 6-point range. So whether it creeps up into the 6.5s, only the judges know. And they've been watching surfing all day long, so they really have a good feeling for the scale.
Okay, this is Jace Robinson. Oh, a little rail dig there, but then does an amazing roundhouse and kicks the fins on that re-entry. Looking solid. So I'm pretty sure Jace is a shoe-in for the final with a 7 and a 6.27. He's just a machine. He's just a contest
So he just
machine.
looked at his watch then and went, right, how long have I got? Shall I go in? 10 seconds to go.
So we're just waiting for a score for red. Very important score for Josh Ash. Can he catch up with his brother and meet him in the final? We shall see. Standing by for scores. We're going to have a little heat recap, I imagine. And then we'll find out the scores for the last exchange here between three surfers at least. It was pretty much Jace Robinson. How is that? Slightly incomplete, but he does do them pretty much to order on his backhand, Jace. And it looks like the wind's dropped. This is the beginning of the heat. You can just see how choppy it is.
It looks fun out there now. There's a few really nice looking sections.
Yeah. So that was Barnaby, I think, in the blue. And Joss
connected with that section, then connected there again.
Still waiting for a score for Joss. I'm going to get my phone out to see if we can get the live. So this wasn't the one that connected all the way through. Or was this his last wave? No, it wasn't. Jace again. Tail out. He's got those things down.
Yeah. So this is the one that we thought was a 7. So if this is a 7 with that first turn.
It was a 6, mid-6, wasn't it?
Mid-6.
Yeah.
So if that was a mid-6, I think
last wave of red.
Joss
what do you think?
has a chance. I think it could do it.
See if I can get the scores up. Results. Open.
The score hasn't come in yet. Nail biting stuff.
And that's broad daylight again. On this camera, it's just broad daylight. We love this camera.
It's going to be very interesting. Here we go. That was a nice connection to find that sweet spot. And that's what you're looking for really in surfing, isn't it? To find that sweet spot that you can carry your speed and connect with the lip.
Very tricky on today's like today because it's literally just leftover wind chop, and we're going to get Kat in a minute to talk about that side of things, more of the I remember the old school days. I used to listen to the shipping forecast. My old man, that's how we used to work out if there's going to be waves or not.
And here you have Jace and Joss Ash discussing the heat, and we still don't know what the result was.
I think Joss is waiting for a score. I think that's why they just stood there. Young Barnaby coming up as well. We're trying to listen to the beach commentary as well.
So now we have in the water the under 14 girls final. So we're going to quickly cut to adverts and we'll give you an update with the scores as soon as we come back, and Kat will jump in my place and give you a bit of intelligent insight.
Whatever generation you're in, you need to be responsible in the environment that you're in. We're not doing a great job because it's something that I don't remember as a
I
kid.
feel like I should be in the blue though. Make it more equal. You come
And trying to solve this problem, and that's amazing to see. So we've got a chance to rectify it, and I see it in front of my very own eyes, and that's happening.
Vou sambar lá na quadra da Mangueira. Eu vou, pra que vou chorar se amanhã é carnaval? Se amanhã é carnaval.
From Kat's Surf Forecast. Welcome.
Correct. Hello, thank you for having me.
How are you finding it? Is this your first surf event you've kind of checked out?
It is my first event, if you include maybe going down and watching some surfers there, you know, maybe Boardmasters Festival, but this is proper, this is serious. It's really exciting, exciting.
Behind the scenes, is this what you expected it to be like, or is it?
It's a bit chaotic, not gonna lie.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
But that's expected, isn't it?
It's
You know,
kind of surfing
it's
as
live.
well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly it. And you're all surfers. It's a very relaxed atmosphere, I find.
It's kind of relaxed. This room is much more calm than next door, where they have the judging and you have the beach announcer and everything next door. And Sam just showed us there that Josh did actually get the score there and moved up into second place. So he's now in the final with his brother Ruben and Russ Winter and Jace Robinson. We are in our first final. I think we're going to cut to the beach. You've had enough looking at me anyway.
Aw. It's a beautiful day.
So here we go, under 14 girls. Now you surf, obviously.
I surf.
Why did you come up with Cat Surf Forecast? You're a meteorologist by profession.
By profession, I work in the flood forecasting.
Right.
But I have always wanted to be a weather presenter. I studied environmental sciences at university, went on to study meteorology as well in that, and I have been filming myself presenting the weather when I was little. Ever since I was on TV, I watched the forecaster and was like, that is what I want to do when I grow up. I said to my mum, I came back at 11 years old, and if I had the footage, I'd give it to you of me filming on the webcam.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into surfing, and I thought, put the two and two together, get some experience, learn more about the waves, and then put it more into a weather feed. So that is what I've
So that was the
created.
idea of your YouTube channel, which
That
is
is
Cat Surf Forecast on
exactly
YouTube.
that.
And you have Instagram as well.
I have Instagram.
So-
Thank you everybody on Instagram for following me. It is amazing, an amazing community. Oh, my Instagram is Cat Surf Forecast. Very simple.
Obviously.
Nothing too technical. Yeah, I did come up with some really random names. Cat's Conditions was one of them, and I thought that sounds a bit dodgy.
That sounds like a pet or like a vet's thing. Cat's Conditions, yeah.
Yeah, so I went with the standard Cat Surf Forecast with a K, not cat.
Well, you get what the label says it all, really.
It says it all.
Your forecast. And your YouTube channel, you do that from your home, and you also do a vlog. You're trying to travel around and you go to different places.
I do. Yeah, so I'm only focusing on the southwest. So I live in Exeter, so I've come down to Newquay for the weekend. But yeah, I'm only focusing on the southwest, so all the beaches, Devon and Cornwall, and do that for the weekend. So the weekend ahead, and then daily updates on Instagram. It might be a photo of me, it might be a photo of some surfers, beautiful landscapes of Devon and Cornwall, and a brief update of what the conditions are going to be like.
And what day do your videos go out? Do you have like a religious kind of, they have to go out on this day kind of?
I do try for Fridays. I try for Fridays.
For a weekend outlook kind of thing.
For the weekend outlook. If I could do it earlier, I would, but having a 9 to 5 job, I work operational as well, so I was involved in that flooding yesterday, that big Storm Miguel that came through. That was all really busy, but was able to produce a surf forecast for you guys.
You did indeed. It's had a fair few thousand views, and you're pretty spot on. You came down here early yesterday to kind of meet the crew and stuff, and you're telling us that no, tomorrow's going to be much better. It's going to be sunny and it's going to be less wind. And I woke up this morning and it was sunny and there was less wind.
I know. None of you believed me.
No.
I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it, guys. I was like, no, please believe me. And we have got the most beautiful sunset. This is lovely tonight. Much better conditions than yesterday. It was stormy. It was just cleaning the windows, wasn't it, really?
It was tricky for everyone. The surfers found it really hard just because the wind was relentless. There was a bit of a drift taking them towards the middle of the beach or to the left as you look out onto screen. And the rain was biblical.
It was non-stop. Driving down here, we didn't have it in Exeter. I was watching the radar, the showers, but this whole front that was coming through yesterday and just driving into it. I mean, it's probably warmer out there in the water for the surfers at the moment compared to us standing on the beach, to be honest.
Considering it's June, the water temperature's around about 14, 15 degrees. This time last year, we had to cancel this event because it was 30 degrees. We'd had that heat wave.
Yeah.
We'd run this event later on in the year, but yeah,
definitely
total role
storm,
yeah. And why Miguel? Why is the storm called Miguel?
Storm. It was the Spanish Met Service named it.
So why didn't we don't have our own name for it? Or?
We do have our own names, but the categories and the storm and the development, it didn't meet our criteria.
Right.
So we follow whatever's is brought in and what the name is.
So for us, that would have been a real storm, just kind of.
That was not a storm.
Windy.
It was the remains of Storm Miguel. So I know the press was saying Storm Miguel battering England, but in fact, it actually didn't have the conditions to meet what was a Storm Miguel.
Right.
So we just had the remnants, the blustery showers, and the winds.
We just call it fresh. That's all.
Yeah, fresh, strong onshore wind.
It was a bit fresh.
It was definitely very unseasonable though. So yeah, the outlook's not looking promising either next week, I'm afraid. But
you can give us an update now, or are you going to
That's
say?
the update I've got. That's all I've got for now.
Go.
Wednesday is looking, not great so far.
Okay, we're just looking at the under 14 girls out in the water. Lauren Sandlin there. She's actually the tour champion. Just going through my paperwork. She's very young. She did really well in the under 16s as well. She finished 5th in the under 18 girls tour last year. So she does all the events she can. And
that's brilliant.
Competition, anything you've ever thought about entering, or just
honestly, my skills are not up there yet. I've only started surfing properly for 2 years since I moved down to Exeter. Had my first ever surf here in Newquay 4 years ago in a male wetsuit and a shortboard, and I did wonder why I couldn't pop up. And now I know it's not as easy as that, putting yourself on a shortboard. So no, I shan't be doing any competitions anytime soon. I just enjoy it. I like going out with the girls and guys and just enjoying the surf, really.
And were you following us last year on the webcast at all? Or?
I'm afraid no. I'm not actually a big follower. You know, I love going out there. I love going out with my friends. But watching it, you know, being here now, I'll be on it. Yeah. Every time you have an event.
Well, we got another 3 to come. We have Wales, we have Thurso in Scotland, and then the Surface Pro, which is going to be a Watergate, which was postponed from May. So we still have another 4 events. And a big shout to Surface, one of our main sponsors. You've seen the adverts there. They do a really high spec, affordable wetsuit, which is so nice to do. And they send you in a bag, and the bag you can actually keep the bag and use that to keep your wetsuit in.
Brilliant.
Not throwing your plastic away. It's all towards this
promote
the
that
new
World
initiative.
Ocean
Yeah.
Day.
We have to look after the environment, otherwise it's just going to rip us off the face of the earth.
I know, and us surfers, we know the ocean very well. We have a big love for it, so anything that we can do helps For sure.
Every little helps. We're going to have a beach clean down here. I'm not sure if we've done it today or not. We have a beach clean tomorrow. We're going to do a beach clean tomorrow, and it's also going to be a film put on a big screen down in the car park.
Yes,
A couple
a charity
of films.
one, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's going to be down here. So
Perfect.
here we go. This is Betterbridge. Quick come down there for Bell in second place with a 3.5. Lauren in first place with a 3.7, which is no surprise really. We have, what else we got down there? I'm not really.
Well, you can tell me.
I've lost the sheet now.
I do aspire to be like these girls.
Yeah, unfortunately, we got Bell Ridge. We have Tegan Blackford in the white. Laura Sunderland. We have Megan Webb, one of our local girls as well. And the lady at the bottom, I'm afraid I don't really know much at all about our surfer in green. No waves at the moment. 10-minute finals, best two waves, exactly the same format as the rest of the event. They're allowed to catch as many waves as they like in the time frame. The judges are scoring every single wave as soon as their hands leave their rail. That's when the scoring starts. They can score a minimum of, I think it's a 0.1 all the way up to a 10, which is excellent. And there is a scale that the judges go by. But you can see the sun starting to set. I think it's 9:30 sunset down here.
Beautiful, yes.
And we do get, hopefully last night we didn't really get a sunset just because it was so horrible and raining. Tonight
I think the sun was gone. Oh, it was dark
Like
by
8 o'clock.
like 8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I
We did.
got
We
back
put the
early.
lights on really early yesterday.
Really early. Yeah, I definitely agree with what you were saying about the competing side of it.
Yeah.
My nerves would get the better of me, even when I'm just out on my own or just with one other person and trying to get a wave. I get a bit nervous. So, all
it is
to
a
them
tricky
for going
one.
out in this as well.
Not a lot of surfers can surf competition. There's so many really good surfers, and they just can't switch to a criteria or a time frame, or just they don't like the fact that people are watching them, knowing they're watching. And this is what we was talking to Sam about, going into wave pools where conditions are roughly the same for everyone, but there's just more onus on now you have to perform. Here's your wave. You need to get this score. Go.
Yeah.
Which these guys out there haven't. They've got 20 minutes to catch as many or as little waves as they want, and they just kind of just paddle around. The wave will pop up, anything until they stand up. They haven't got time to mull things over, so you don't start second guessing yourself. And this is going to be Laura Sandland. She's dropped down to third, but only needs a 1.88 to take the lead.
I did watch you all in Surf Snowdonia, was it? Where all you presenters went and had a surf? That was a brilliant watch.
We had a Commentators Cup. It was for bragging rights. And Nick Williams, who's doing our beach commentary next door, he got barreled.
It was brilliant.
We've never seen anybody get barreled there before. I was disgusted because I thought I did all right, and then he got barreled.
Oh, no, I can imagine them places are tricky. I would probably panic and just not catch the wave because I'll be overthinking it so much.
Yeah.
And then everyone watching as well, and you think that's your wave, but if you don't get it...
The trick with Snowdonia is to book 2 sessions.
Right.
Because the first one's going to be wasted. Just learning how the wave breaks.
Completely different technique, isn't
it?
Yeah,
you're literally sitting next to a cage, and then normally when a wave comes towards you, you surf away from a structure. But with this, you have to surf towards it, because it's kind of like the technology that makes the wave is like a plow, like a snow plow, in like an arrow shape. So as soon as you stand up, you're catching up to the wave, and you'll never hit this fence, but it's just to get your mind around.
It looks like you are though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like when you're watching it.
You just think, I need to surf away from this thing. It's like, nope, you have to surf towards it. But there's the adaptive championships coming up next month. So hopefully I'm going to go up and check that out as well and have a couple of surfs.
I did do a good vlog on the Wave Project.
Okay, yeah.
So I volunteer down there, which is amazing charity as well. So I've done a vlog on that. Complete mental health, disabilities, and just to see surfers do that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. So that's something I'd definitely be watching.
I'm so interested to go and see how these surfers, because I know how difficult it is surfing, and I have all my appendages, and I've been doing it for however many years. And some of these surfers are new to the sport as well, after whatever accident or illness or whatever caused their condition, and because of things like the Wave Project, they just get a chance they never would have had before because it's so dangerous to go in the sea anyway. But then now you have the beauty of the wave pools where everything's kind of controlled and it's like chest deep at the deepest bit. I'm so excited to see how everything works up there, and
it will be brilliant as well. Like Bethany Hamilton, she does it and she is absolutely amazing. Came back fighting, which
Bethany came over to do her film. She was promoting a film whenever it came out a few years ago.
Oh, the other one, Soul Surfer.
Yeah, and I was surfing South Fistral by myself, and she jumped off the rocks and paddled out. And I was like, oh, who's this? I thought, because it was a girl because she had long blonde hair. And then I was like, oh my God, no way, it's Bethany Hamilton. And then she was on a borrowed surfboard, so not even on her surfboard.
It wasn't her surfboard?
No, it was borrowed off a friend of ours called Gemma Harris. She lent this surfboard because Bethany has a handle for duck diving.
Yes.
Didn't have that. And was still out duck diving me. Set came in, I duck dived, and I came up, and she was about 4 foot in front of me. I was like, no way.
How amazing.
So yeah. That blew my mind.
A little bit of a lull.
Okay, we've got 5 minutes on the clock. Lauren Sander back up in the lead with a 5.83, which is kind of no surprise. We have second place Ian White holding on to that second place. She needs a 5.8 to move up into first. Michelle Webb now moves up. Well, Michelle Webb just now takes into second place. Ms. Blackford drops down into third. We have Bell. And our Surfer in Green, still no wave, so hopefully Surfer in Green's going to find something in the last 4.5 minutes. Again, I've got absolutely no idea, no background at all. Our Surfer in Green, so I don't know if she's done contests before. This could be her first one, so a little bit maybe deer in the headlights.
Definitely.
And you still have these, what are we on, westerly winds at the moment? Pretty much.
We still are. They are easing a little bit, but it is still
pretty
very
fresh
out there, isn't it?
But it looks like it's going to stay dry for the rest of the evening, which is going to be the most important thing. Because there is a little crowd now joining us. Last night there was no one on the beach.
I don't blame them at all.
No, I think the
really
beach bar
don't.
was pretty busy. They did well. But yeah, we've got a lot of people down here tonight for these finals.
I'll definitely be getting a gin and tonic after this.
Gin and tonic, yeah.
I mean, I might just still
Nick Sam's.
Nick Sam's pink one.
Don't blame you. Who we got paddling for this? This is Tegan. Bottom, a little bit mistimed there, but she cuts back. So, I mean, the amazing thing is these young girls, under 14s, I started surfing at 14, and these girls are competing already. So they've got a very long career if they choose, if that's the path they want to take.
I wish I did get into it, but I'm from Hertfordshire originally.
Okay.
North London, Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
Not really any waves at all. No. My weekends were just going to the West End. So I'm very lucky to be introduced to this amazing sport. I absolutely love it. I do wish that I started when I was a lot younger, not 22, 23 I think I started, but you know, anyone can start.
Never too old.
Never too old.
That's the beauty of this sport. There's never too old. There's no rules.
No.
There's no pecking order. As long as you're having fun and you paddle out and you catch waves, even if you don't stand up. That's the beauty of this sport is there's no kind of set rule. There's no platform you have to reach to be called a surfer. You just have to surf.
You have to surf, and even whatever you're doing, even if you're in your white water, even if you're just in the water, it's just
as long
brilliant.
as long as you're enjoying yourself, and that's the main. And you get out and you get a flush of water when you come out. That's a really nice turn there from Belle. She's down in third place. She needs a 6.07 to take the lead. So all the requirements are on the right-hand side of your score tallies down there. The needs are for first place.
It's looking a lot nicer out there.
Yep, that wind, it does look like it's dropped off a little bit. Maybe the sun setting is giving us a better light. And the tide is still coming in. So it's not long now before high tide.
Yeah, I would say with my surf forecasting, locals know the beaches a lot better, so I can only give, you know, I just live in Exeter, I don't live by the beaches, all the local knowledge that you guys have working and seeing how the banks are working and things, that is, I don't know too much, but listening to you guys talking about Fistral Beach and what works on high tide, what works on mid-low.
The beauty about Fistral is it kind of works through every stage of tide. We go to a lot of places where at low tide it's rubbish, or at high tide it has a backwash off a wall or something. Fistral Beach is one of those ways where high tide, low tide, as long as there's waves, it's kind of contestable.
That is good.
But
I mean,
the individual banks do change. At low tide, it does like an outside break, and then it kind of hits a lagoon, and then it breaks on the inside. So that can be a bit of a problem, but not really today. Here he goes, Lauren Sandlin back up into lead. As again, 1 minute now on the clock. She's looking to get rid of a 3.7 as her top two scores, and it looks like Belle Betterbridge there, just moving up into second place for that 4.17. I think that was that one turn. Very close for second though. Belle and Tegan, less than what, a quarter of a point in it, so 0.3 of a point in between our two surfers there in second and third. All eyes are going to be on the surfer in red. Not really a surprise that Lauren Sandlin, the under 16 girls UK Pro Surf champion. Well, that was Belle on the inside, out the back. What colour is that?
I think it's white.
He says white? I was going to say yellow, but...
Oh, I did follow yellow. Maybe that was yellow.
There's yellow on screen, so maybe it wasn't yellow, maybe it was white. 10 seconds on the clock then. Here we go. Paddle in.
Oh, they are hard to catch.
5.4 to take the lead. She's not going to get it. So our first champion, Lauren Sandland, from Crantock, a local girl here, has the first win of the evening. We're going to have a little highlight, and then we're going to have a quick break, and then it's the under 14 boys. Here we go. So this was yellow. So again, the conditions always changing. The tide keeps moving. It's finding different sandbanks. You know, 1 minute it'll be a nice little left or a little right. Incomplete on that second turn. And I think this was your heat winner in the end, Lauren. That wave just dying out. So still tricky conditions even for these young surfers. They must weigh literally next to nothing.
It's amazing, isn't
and they
it?
can skip across these little flat sections. Get the arms in. Get paddling in the water there. But this was your under 14 girls champion, flying down this little, just get out of the way there, Blue. And there is Blue. So the future of British surfing, these are going to be the girls that are going to be vying for hopefully Olympic places in the future, if surfing stays in the Olympics. We didn't even get a touch on that, but I'm pretty sure you're going to jump back in with Sam later on, so maybe you can cover the Olympics that are coming up next year.
Sam is coming back just after the adverts, I believe.
Yeah, and little finishing wave there for our surfer in white, trying to get through, stomping on that board, literally on the sand, and there's that nice big turn there from Belle, which jumped up into second place, I believe, for one manoeuvre. And there is your under 14 champion for this year's night surf. So we're going to be going to a very short advert again. We'll be back with the under 14 boys final, and Sam will be jumping back in with us, so do not go away. We'll be back very shortly.
Whatever generation you're in, you need to be responsible in the environment that you're in. We're not doing a great job because it's something that I don't remember as a kid. It's a world community of people coming together and trying to solve this problem, and that's amazing to see. So we've got a chance to rectify it, and I see it in front of my very own eyes, and that's happening.
Vou sambar lá na quadra da Mangueira. Eu vou, pra que vou chorar se amanhã é carnaval? Se amanhã é carnaval.
Okay, welcome back to the Night Surf presented by Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire. We're in the under 14 boys final. I've been joined again by Sam, and we've already had one defending champion, Lauren Sandland, taking this out for the second year in a row.
That was impressive, although I've done a little bit of coaching with Lauren.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the monitor and I was actually shouting at the monitor when she missed a section.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like, what are you
yeah.
doing? Hit that section. But it's
Yeah.
really nice to see her surfing well and a well-earned victory there. It's incredible. Some of the surfing they're doing for under 14s is really very impressive. As we have up and riding in the yellow, this looks like Otis Perry in the under 14 boys. And the conditions look fun. I mean, I was paying a bit of attention then. It looked like there was some good surfing going on there.
Tide is we're about 20 minutes off high tide now, so we've got a few scores up already. So there's your finalists for the under 14 boys, and the defending champion for this is Alex Townsend. So this is going to be a newly crowned under 14 boys champion. But yeah, I think the wins maybe dropped off a touch. Nothing too drastic, but
I love it when you go from the open men's or the open women's, and then you go into the under 14 boys and girls. Suddenly the waves look like they've doubled in size.
Yeah.
I think it really is. So you see these kids now, these boys taking off, and the waves look like overhead.
yeah.
Like, look at that thing.
Look how long that is.
That looks like a high risk floater there.
That's Lucas Skinner there, coming all the way through the inside. Dad's skin dog, Ben Skinner, is watching eagerly before he jets off to America tomorrow morning.
Yeah, he's competing in the relic longboard competition at Malibu. So they've got to imagine having a competition at Malibu with a waiting period.
Yeah.
So that's where he's off to. Not before doing a round of store visits with his
Yeah, they're
Skindog
doing
surfboard
a
brand.
tour over there.
So that'll be exciting. So in this, we have in the red Lucas Skinner. We just saw him up and riding on that nice left there. What impressed me with Lucas is his timing. I think there's bits of technique that, he's a young kid. He looks like a grom, but he's doing some adult turns, and his timing in particular is really, really quite spectacular. As we see up and riding, that looked like in the white was that Finn Gillespie in the blue, and in the white we have Eli Perrin Davis, and in yellow Otis Perry. So this looks like a stacked heat for the under 14 boys.
Well, the highest seed in this heat is Lucas Skinner. He finished number 2 last year on the tour for the under 14 boys. He's looking to go one more. Sam Hearn, was the under 14 boys tour champion last year. Not sure what happened to Sam. Not sure if he was in it this year.
I can't see
Or
him
maybe
on-
he's
old. He's an old man now.
Too old for this category, under 14s. Was he in the under 18s?
I don't see Sam. I don't think he made it over for it because he spends most of his time living in Portugal these days, down on the Algarve.
Maybe he looked at the chart and thought, nah, I'm good. I shall stay down here.
But to be honest, I mean, looking at the weather forecast and looking at the waves we thought we might get, this looks very pleasant. Do you know? If I was finishing work of a day and I had rocked up here and I saw this, I'd maybe fancy a little dip.
And last night, if you'd come down, you wouldn't even left your house last night.
No, that's very true. I've got a friend of mine who just came back. He's been living in France with his family, as you see up and riding in the yellow. Just having a look there.
It was Otis again, I think.
Yeah, so a friend of mine came back. He's been living down in Hossegor for 2 or 3 years, and he came back yesterday. I thought it's not been like this. It's been okay. It's been sunny. It's been nice.
I've had my shorts on since March. And then
they do smell a bit. You should have maybe popped them in the wash.
Yesterday I put my trousers back on again just because it was so cold. So
it was a bit fresh.
It was definitely a bit. It was just wet. It was just, and the only thing I woke up yesterday morning when it was howling wind and rain, I just thought, I'm so glad I don't surf contests anymore, because I don't know.
Do you not miss it?
I missed the winning.
Here we go. So here we go. Lucas Skinner, that left that we saw, really nicely timed. Nothing crazy, but nicely placed. And this is what's interesting. I think often when you do coaching, you almost have to explain to these kids, look, you don't have to do an air reverse on every wave. You don't have to bust the fins on every wave. Keep the rail in, hit the sections in the right spot. Like, have a look. Oh, a little bit of mistiming. Let's see, has he got a little finish?
Ooh, little fin drift.
But even that, there was 2 reasonable sections there that if you'd connected strongly, you put a score into the mid-4s. From a nothing wave, but it actually stood up. It had some sections, but because he's trying a little bit hard, he's trying to rush his turns, he's trying to maybe push too much. Suddenly, you take a potential mid-4 and turn it into a 1.52.
But the beauty is now with live streaming, and this will go out on the internet, so it'll be there forever, is these surfers now go back and watch their performance in the final, listen to our critique, ignore us to a degree, but kind of learn
At their peril, Lee.
Yeah.
At their peril.
but learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing that Conor McGregor said: you win or you learn. They're two things.
Yeah, but he does do UFC, and
Yeah.
there you fundamentally win or not at all.
Yeah. He learned not
Quickly.
to throw metal things at buses. That was one of the things he learned not to do. Yeah,
Is he
so-
going to
so-
come back, do you think? Is he ever going to
Of
fight
course
again?
he will. Of course he will.
Do you think?
Yeah, he's a big hitter.
With Nurmagomedov.
Or a rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll get pummeled again. That's a terrible match for him.
Here we go. Lucas Skinner, just a little bit stuck. That wave is trying to stand up. He's bouncing his board. It used to be called the Huntington hop. I think it's been renamed the Fistral hop. Nice. See how he kept his rail in? That's impressive, but it messed that section up a little bit. That was nicely placed.
Looking to replace a 2.9. I imagine 2.9 is now gone into the history books. He's going to work this all the way through, right onto the beach. And round of applause. I think
I can hear
Ben
the
there.
applause.
I can hear Ben.
And that's funny when you've got a support squad in the wings who applaud to kind of try and influence the
Yeah.
judges a little bit.
Yeah.
As we see up and riding, this is Finn Gillespie. Also really good young surfer. That was a nice connection there, and he rides out of it, so that will be deemed as complete. Tries to squeeze in an extra little turn there to get those extra half a points.
He went for the chop hop. Went for a chop hop, ended up doing the splits.
It's amazing. Oh, look at that sky.
It's getting
Beautiful.
lovely out there.
I think that's the interesting thing when you look at where scores come from. You know, you look at the very highest level. You look at the men and the women on the WCT, and the World Surf Tour, WSL, I should say.
ASP.
ASP.
Oh, yeah.
So at the very highest level, it's not always these unfathomable, crazy aerial maneuvers that get the big scores.
No.
I mean, we just watched Margaret River, and how many airs did we see score?
Not many.
You know, it was
I mean, John won on carbs, basically. It's just
Big
full
tr-
rail power carbs.
big tubes at the box,
Yeah.
full rail power carbs, and the conditions were a little bit like this. It was a lot bigger. It was on a reef, but there was a lot of lump and bump on the face.
Yeah, it does get open to waves there at main break Margaret River because it's just it's so far out into the sea, so you do have to deal with that. But 10 minutes remaining. I reckon once the second score for Lucas has dropped in, it's tied up. Sounded like somebody just went something on the inside there. But Finn Gillespie, he finished 8th, I believe, last year on the Under-14s tour.
I don't think he did every event though.
No, I don't think he did. And then one surfer in white we haven't really spoke about, young Eli Perrins-Davies, only 12 years old.
Here we
From
go.
Ogmore on Sea. This is Otis. Oh, just a little bit of slippage there. So he's just trying to cut back into the white water. And there's Mr. B there, you see, our contest videographer.
Mr. B Day.
Mr. B.
Mr. B.
Mr. B. With his little green flashy light on there so the surfers don't run him over.
Which is useful now and absolutely imperative when it gets darker.
dark, yeah, because it is gonna. You can. I don't know if you can hear through the through our microphone, but they have put the lights on. You can hear the generators in the background. I think there's 6 banks of lights across the north end of Fistral here.
And I can't wait to see the shot from the water if we can. Is there a live feed from Mr. B?
I don't believe so, but there will be in the highlights package, I imagine.
What's incredible is when you surf under the lights, is that you look out to sea and you can actually see waves coming.
Yeah.
Then the moment you turn your eyes into shore, you're utterly blinded.
Yeah, you're blinded.
So it's it's relatively deceiving. I mean, we can see how difficult it's been to find good waves
Yeah.
in plain daylight because of the sort of nature of the swell, the slight lump on there. You having a look in the white.
This is
This is
Eli.
Eli.
Cook up and down there for Eli, or not even. Eli's not really got to grips with anything. A 2.0 is his best wave.
And there we go. Last wave for Lucas Skinner was actually
Oh, there you go.
6.63. Now I'm surprised that went so high. I preferred his left hand.
The left-hander.
Yeah. But that's where showmanship comes in. You kind of
Yeah. And he had a nice change of direction as well. He started off left and then cut back, had that bounce off the rocks here at the north end of Fistral, and surfed it all the way through to the beach. So, bit of a stranglehold. Second place, Finn Gillespie needs a 7.8, Otis needs a 9, and Eli needs a combination of scores. Here we go. Eli, again, just not really into any kind of rhythm at the moment. And I shape young Eli's boards, and they're a nightmare because they're
Why?
so small.
really.
They barely fit on my stand.
What size board does he surf?
I think he's I'm going to say he's on a 4.7 or something like that. maybe a 4.9.
And so my boards would normally be round about the 30 to 32 litres. How many litres would you say are in his boards?
Oh, 16 litres, something like that.
So I'd need 2 of them.
They're ridiculously.
I could water ski on them.
Thin as well. They're under an inch thick. It's
They'd be great for water skiing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Or toe-ins.
Toe-in water skiing.
Toe-in water skiing. They did that, didn't they?
The chopes, yeah.
Yeah, and Jaws. Someone skied Jaws.
Was that not Poops with
Poops
with Jamie O'Brien on Jamie O'Brien's
jacked up on Red Bull? Is that why he did it?
Go.
So a pair of sixes sees Lucas into the lead. Here we go. Come on, Eli. Let's get something on the scoreboard. Little check turn there. And this wave's just got a little lump in front of it. It's going to double up. He's going to have to change direction.
It looks tricky out there. It's coming up to the high tide. So high tide, what time have we got high tide? It's
just before 10, I believe. And that's just going off from
9:57.
There you go.
So it's a 6.4 metre tide. So not the most extreme tide?
No, not too high. Hopefully it will hang around up here for a bit.
Oh, Lucas Skinner, is he winding up for an air?
No.
Big carving turn.
There you go. Full rail turn. A little check off the white water. A little bit mistimed if we're going to be uber critical, and he's out of there. I don't think that's going to be replacing any sixes.
He does have, there are some elements to him which are very, very impressive. Some of his timing, his spatial awareness, his balance.
His roundhouse is very much like his dad's. Technically, very smooth roundhouse. It'd be good if someone could put 2 videos side by side of Ben doing a roundhouse and Lucas doing a roundhouse. They're kind of like.
So there's physiology and nature, nurture at play.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, Lucas is 11 this year, and Ben is, how tall's Ben? 6 foot, 6'2".
He's a solid 6 foot.
Imagine if Lucas gets to that size
with kind of timing.
this knowledge of surfing, because he's already doing air reverses.
Yeah.
At 11.
So I think what helps Lucas a lot is that he skates. He's a
Yes,
really good, brave, technical skater. And having a facility like Mount Hawk, who actually have been doing a half-pipe demo here, and it's been fantastic having Mount Hawk here. But if you're into skateboarding and you're in the Southwest, definitely go and check out Mount Hawk.
And Concrete Waves in
and
Newquay.
Concrete Waves in Newquay as well. So one's outside, one's concrete and outside, as the name suggests. The other one is mainly wooden.
Mount Hawk is enclosed as well, so it's indoor on those windy, rainy days.
But they're both incredible skate parks, and it's the kind of stuff we could only dream about as kids. And talking of the way the young surfers these days are evolving, the standard of surfing that we're seeing in this under-14s boys final is so much higher than anything we were exposed to.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 years ago.
But do you think that was because we were surfing hand-shaped boards and we had no real idea of literage and stuff like that?
No. I think the boards might not have been quite as good or quite as sensitive.
But what were you surfing? I mean, my go-to board, like in my mid-20s, was like a 6'1". That was my go-to board. 6'1", 18 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter.
I was on a 6'4", shaped by Paul Blacker, a 6'4" by 17 3/4, and 2, and maybe just 2 or 2 1/4.
Yeah.
So can you imagine that? A 6'4". It was like a.
Yeah, but I bet the literage was still more than what you're surfing on your boards now. What's your go-to board now?
It would be a 6'1", 19 and a half, 2 3/8.
So maybe it was just me then.
Here we go. Look at this thing. Has it got a section on it? A little fade.
Smooth.
Will it stand up again from it? Looks like it will. He goes past Mr. B.
There you go.
He wanted to get the shot.
There's your highlight. He's going to go for an air. Little pop reverse.
See, for my money there, he was sitting. That wave had the potential to go into 7s or 8s. Just the wave itself, the potential it had. And it just felt like he did the wrong turn in the wrong place. He missed a couple of sections.
But if he had made that little reverse, I mean, he's trying to throw away a 6, which is still the best wave in the heat by, just over a point and a bit.
But I would say that he could have surfed that wave a lot better and still come into that section and done an air reverse.
Yeah, okay.
He didn't. I think those are the little bits. Look, he's a young kid. He's gonna
Yeah.
grow and evolve.
And it's fading light.
It's starting to
It's
get
it's
pretty
getting
dark.
Yeah, let's not take that away from these surfers. We both know how hard it is to surf out there in the twilight when you haven't got natural light.
In our twilight years.
Yeah, yeah. And the spotlights aren't really doing their job properly. This is Eli coming all the way through. 2 minutes, 20 seconds on the
He
clock.
really wants to get to that
He
inside.
He wants to get that inside, trying to get rid of that 1.5. He's trying to chase down Otis, I think, for third at the moment. He needs a combination to take the lead. Finn Gillespie, he needs an almost excellent score of 7.81 for Finn to move into first place. So at the moment, it's the Lucas Skinner show with 2 minutes on the clock.
He's got the heavy. He's made the under-18s final as well, where he's going to be facing Barnaby Cox, Stanley Norman, and Noah Capps.
Right.
So I think these two sixes are just not going to cut it. He's going to up his game again.
So he's up against the under-18s and under-16s tour champion in Barnaby and Noah.
Nice turn there, and he just came unstuck. Yeah, was that Otis Perry in the white?
Is it white? Or is it blue? So hard to tell now. Like I say, we've got 3 judges next door. There's 2 spotters keeping an eye on absolutely everything, plus a head judge as well. So they get to see everything. And compared to last night, not having to wipe their windows from rain every 2 minutes, they're going to be absolutely loving conditions.
This is balmy and tropical, isn't it?
This is proper summer. This is what summer should have been like.
Oh, out the back, a big hit from Lucas, and again he throws the tail, and he just gets bumped off whilst on the inside.
Finn? Couldn't quite see there.
That looked like... I thought it was
It's not white, because white is a goofy foot. What is this? That looks like yellow.
That might be in
That's
Finn
white.
then.
That's white then. Just having a paddle. 45 seconds. Looks like it's in the bag for Lucas Skinner. There he goes, little Eli Perrin.
Unless he does something crazy, he'd have to do something.
He needs an 11.
He'd have to do something monstrously spectacular.
All the way through. Not Eli's night. And you can see the frustration, and I like to see that.
Yeah,
I like to see that.
So frustrated.
He's only 12 years old, so he's got a long surfing career ahead of him if that's his choice.
And I think to any parents watching this with young surfers, until the surfers are about 18, I would say, it's amazing how much they can evolve and how much they can change. As we see up and riding, that looks like blue just not making the connection. But with 7 seconds to go, oh, there we go. So there's a slight lag in the broadcast, so that's the end of the heat. It looks like Lucas Skinner took that.
Could he do the double? Has he got enough energy to do the double?
Well, the last time someone was touted quite as highly as Lucas was a young Russ Winter, and he ended up winning the British Championships in the under-16s, the cadet division, in the under-18s, and that was the English Nationals up in Tynemouth. So he won the under-16s, the under-18s, and the Open Men's.
He won the European Juniors at 15. This is that 6.6.
Yeah, so that was a nice connection.
This little snap coming up, we missed a little snap, just kind of drifted the fins on that turn. So, but yeah, we're going to see Lucas again in the under-18, but he's going to be up against some young men next time.
He will.
He's going to have to bring his A+ game. Now yellow there. Nice first turn, and then just slipped off there. That was a bit weird. And our young Welshman, Eli, again, only 12 years old, so he's going to have a few contests to go. It's always good to get angry at a contest because you always feel like you can do better. There's that smooth roundhouse from Lucas.
I think this was the score. This was the...
It's the one where he goes on his backhand and he switches to a right. Nope. This was the one. That's nice smooth roundhouse. Then he splashes Mr. B right in the face. There you have that, Mr. B. And then... was this the right manoeuvre? He got the pop, maybe slightly under rotated. That was a nice turn there. And then this was the last wave for young Eli, and we didn't see him splash the water with frustration there.
So we are going to cut from these beautiful sunsetting scenes at Fistral with the glorious Headland Hotel, where the Witches film was created. And we're going to cut to a break and we'll be right back.
Whatever generation you're in, you need to be responsible in the environment that you're in. We're not doing a great job because it's something that I don't remember as a kid. It's a world community of people coming together and trying to solve this problem, and that's amazing to see. So we've got a chance to rectify it, and I see it in front of my very own eyes, and that's happening.
Vou sambar lá na quadra da Mangueira. Eu vou, pra que vou chorar se amanhã é carnaval? Se amanhã é carnaval.
Welcome back to the Night Surf presented by Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire. We are into our third final of the evening. It's not quite as dark as it looks on camera. One of our cameras has got a dark filter. The other one makes it look like it's broad daylight. There you go. And we're back to daylight.
So in the water right now, we've got the under 18 girls final. So this is a high octane affair. Where have I got this? I'm just trying to look at that. Okay, the under 18 girls final. In the red, Lily Mandeville. In the white, Alice Barton. In the yellow, Francesca Sawyer. And in the blue, Lauren Sandland, fresh from her victory in the under 14s.
So, yeah.
So a lady on fire right there.
Trying to do the double, but she's up against the under 18 girls tour champion from last year, Lily Mandeville, our surfer in red. Alice Barton finished second last year in the under 18 girls. And where did Francesca finish? 8th. So she's got a. Although where did Lauren finished 5th. So she's in the mix. It's just whether she had time to warm up. As she surfed her final about 40 minutes ago.
So very impressive that she's made it all the way through. And we just want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Altco, who make those amazing resin driveways from recycled plastic. And Roxy, we saw Steph Gilmore there looking incredibly graceful, gliding along on that finless surfboard. And I think it's amazing. I think it's really cool the way the advertising has changed slightly. You know, it's still feminine, it's still elegant, but it's more empowering, I think. And I think the ladies are taking charge of how they want to be represented a bit more.
And I think Steph's input to that advert is having fun.
Yes.
It's one thing she loves doing most. So.
And winning 7 world titles along
she
the
gets
way.
number 8. I mean,
here we go.
That'd be amazing.
This is in
Lauren.
the blue. This is Lauren Sandland, known as Lolly to her friends. Oh, just got a little bit stuck there. It looked like she was between turns a lot there. It was, and I guess the light is starting to play because
you lose the shadows.
You lose the shadows, and ultimately surfing is this communication between a visual stimulus.
Yeah.
It's what you feel, what you sense intrinsically about what's happening with the wave. But the moment you take some of those cues away, the moment you take the visual, or you dull the sharpness of the visual, you start to second guess.
Well, or it contradicts your senses. What you're normally looking for and feel in broad daylight.
It's out of sync.
Yeah, it's out of sync because you've lost kind of the natural sunlight. So when surfers are on a wave, the darker that part of the wave, the steeper it is, and that's kind of how our brains work. We see a steeper part of the wave, we know what we can do in that section. But when we have the floodlights, when we lose all the natural light, and it is going very fast, it's all reactionary, pretty much. You can kind of see glimpses of a lip or a white water, but everything is more feel.
And I guess also, right now, the the temporal kind of shift that we're used to, it's one thing to go out in the dark under lights and you know exactly what you're dealing with and you immediately adjust. Whereas now, like you said, minute by minute, the amount of light is changing and the quality of the light is changing. It's too slow to be perceptible, but it's quick enough to make a fundamental difference. So it's really unsettling, I think. And then it's lumpy as hell and tricky to find a lip at the best of times.
And it's high tide. High tide was 4 minutes ago. So we're hoping it kind of hangs around last night. Oh, 1 foot there for Amalas. Last night it started dropping out really quick and cameras had trouble picking up the surfers in the darkness because as the tide dropped away, we don't actually move our spotlights. They kind of stay in situ. So, but that was an hour ago. It was an hour earlier yesterday, the high tide. So fingers crossed we kind of timed this perfect.
It looks good. Hey, while there's a little break in the action. Oh, he says as the action hots up.
There's Lily there. Quick up and down.
But we were talking earlier about clean breaks. So if you look at, here we go, having a look on the inside. Now this is interesting. This is in the red, Lily Mandeville, on the inside, just staying busy, trying to make something happen, trying to put a few scores on the board. Because these are 20-minute finals, which is quick.
Yeah.
That time evaporates.
Well, they say, time's relative.
I couldn't agree more.
Although it has been disproven, I think, from a physics point of view. but
not
to us
really.
laymen.
No, that's not entirely true. Depending on the speed you're travelling, that's the whole relativity point of view.
It's relative to you. I think that's the thing.
But also, if anything we see is a perception and ultimately it's processed as electrical signals, then it is entirely relative.
Unless you're winning heat and time goes really slow.
Again, relative. But it is amazing how we perceive time. I think our perception of time is relative.
Yeah.
Certainly, that can't be argued with.
Here we go, Alice Barton. She needs.
I would like to see a physicist prove that time doesn't go faster when you're in a heat and you're looking for a 2.3 with 3 minutes to go.
If you find a video of Brian Cox, he tells you how time is relative, and he does a thing with a light, a perspective of a light. So you got one guy sat on a chair doing this with a light, and they turn all the lights out, and then they start moving the chair backwards and forwards, and to him, the light's still going up and down, but to everyone else, the light's kind of doing this undulating motion.
So it's your
perspective.
It's your position in space and time.
Yeah, which affects how you perceive time. It's very interesting. He makes it very interesting.
So with 12 minutes to go, we are still waiting for the first scores to drop. But we would like to say a big thank you to Clean Breaks. So check out ukprosurftour.com/clean breaks. It's a new initiative, and it really encompasses everything that is good about the surfer's inherent want to clean up our ocean, which is apt because it's World Oceans Day. Now, there's very, very simple things you can do. When you come in from your surf, pick up a bit of rubbish and throw it in the bin. At least it will get processed better than if you leave it on the beach. Also, use some of these. So we've got these wonderful reusable cups, and everyone's doing them. So you can get these beautiful 2-minute beach clean ones. You can get this is the R cup, which is made from, these are actually recycled coffee cups. You can get, and it's a Cornish company as well, so that's really cool. You can get big steel bottles and insulated flasks that keep your coffee hot for hours for big night shifts like this. And
we got our own online shop going here.
2 minutes beach clean flasks, which are awesome. And it's World Gin Day. So we'll deal with that later. But it is World Gin Day, World Ocean Day, some of our favourite things.
Yeah. World clean up your, what was it I looked at? Cemetery Day as well?
Make sure you take care of your cemetery.
Yeah. That's all week though. That's not just a day. That's a whole week thing.
What, you clean up your cemetery all week?
All week. This is the under 18 boys finalists. I think that's Barnaby there warming up. Still no scores on our screen. Almost 10 minutes gone, 10 minutes remaining in this heat.
So do you think the judges are really sort of trying to calibrate? They're looking at the scoring potential out there, the conditions have changed. They're just making sure that they put the right scores. So on their sheet in front of them, they've probably got, in the red first wave, and they'll have a guide just to remember what scores they were going to give.
I mean, the head judge and the contest director are on top of it. They'll look at this and they'll go, right, it's almost high tide now. The waves aren't as full as before, but if a surfer does come off the bottom straight off the top, they need to be rewarded rather than a lot of parallel cutbacky kind of
More
turns.
swooping turns.
Yeah.
Hey, can I open up an argument with you?
I go for it. Always mad for an argument.
Bottom turns.
Yep.
Traditionally, the advice was always big, deep bottom turns are what you have to do to get big scores. And then in these conditions, my argument would be, actually, if you go too deep on your bottom turn, you lose speed, in actual fact, and the timing between from the deep bottom turn to when you get to the lip, especially when it's a bit wobbly, the lip changes. So when you saw John at Margaret just now, he bottom turns 2/3 of the way down the face.
Yeah.
He's not digging deep, and he seems to be carrying more speed and slingshotting faster than anyone.
But
so
surely-
my advice would be, don't do a deep bottom turn, but do a proper one.
But
in the
surely
right
it
place.
depends on the manoeuvre that's going to follow. Because normally when you do a deep bottom turn, you're literally going to go straight up for a vertical re-entry.
On the right section.
Yeah. So you can't just do a deep bottom turn and then a massive roundhouse if the wave hasn't got enough wall for that manoeuvre to be allowed.
Here we see, no bottom turn.
Yeah, that was no wave. Here we go, red again. So these young ladies are trying to get something going, but conditions are looking really tricky now.
But to do a bottom turn, you need a wave.
You need a wave.
It doesn't help when it fattens out like that.
If you don't stand up, you don't get scored. 9 minutes remaining. We have no scores, and it's so hard for us to now gauge who we think is winning because we haven't probably seen every single wave ridden, and there hasn't been much. I think Lauren's had probably the best wave in red.
She's
Lily,
battling.
Lily, in the red, she had one of the better waves.
Lauren had one, but she was a bit out of sync.
Yeah, there's that one you were talking about. Yeah.
So if you were their coach, would you say, "Do not go gently into that good night"? To quote Dylan Thomas.
I don't
Rage,
know.
rage against the dying of the light. I think that's
Never-
quite apt at a night.
Never
surf,
met
isn't it?
Dylan Thomas.
No, neither have I. A Welsh lad. I don't
Oh,
think
is
he
he?
ever made the Welsh surf team though.
Do you not? I thought I saw him in for Talbot once. Must have been someone else.
Quoting rhyme and prose.
Yeah. Abracadabra one night.
Here we go. So we've
Is that
only got 8
yellow?
minutes left, and we're really still waiting for updates on the scores. There could be a technical glitch. We are not sure. I might pop my head next door and see
Just to
if
see.
anything's happening.
Red's keeping busy.
I'm gonna leave you with the mic.
Oh, no, Chris is going to have a look. Thank
Brilliant.
you. Chris. Yep, I do. Oh, don't worry.
Oh,
don't worry.
we've got them. Whoa!
They
They've
must
all
have
come
known
at
you were
once.
coming, mate. They just... Yeah, the
So-
numbers just appeared.
Thanks. That was immediate. That
Yeah.
was immediate effect. Here we've got the score. So the position with 7.5 minutes to go in fading light. Lauren is looking strong for the double.
She is.
She's got a 4.83 and a 1.4. Although the other girls don't need much to take that crown away from her.
No. Alice, I spent a bit of time with Alice in Barbados earlier this year. She was out there training with her family. I think she was out there for 3 weeks or maybe a month, surfing down at South Point, Brandon's and over at Soup Bowl. So very impressed with the surfer in white surfing at the moment. Again, one of our youngest surfers in this category. This is the under 18s. She's looking for only a 2.5. But then Francisca's only looking for a 3.5. And Lily, a 4.
So
Still anyone's game, really. They're like no one's. As soon as Lauren gets something better than a 1.4, we're going to see that gap start to open up. But this light is fading ever so quick. Like you were saying, in 20 minutes it can go from quite nice to where the hell am I?
So it turns into a bit of a lottery, and you do have to really tend your waves a bit more carefully.
Yeah.
I think. I would definitely dial it back 10% if I was on a wave. I wouldn't go full all out because just that, and go slightly further out onto the face of the wave.
Yeah. I think from a coaching point of view, if you were going to give these surfers advice at this kind of stage of the day, you'd say go hard early while you can still see a bit more, and then once it gets dark, pull back on the reins a little bit and just kind of, while you can see, have a little risk, take a risk.
But what a fantastic event to put on here. And again, quick thanks to the sponsors, Old Cold, Roxy we saw with Steph Gilmore there. Quicksilver have stepped in as well.
Yep.
We saw a really amazing clip of Kanoa Igarashi there.
World
So if-
number 2 at the moment? Is he number 2?
Goodness, he's taken a lot of people by surprise. Always been kind of this wonder kid, but
Yep.
it's often the case that these kids are really touted and kind of the next big thing.
It could be number 4. I think Chloe's number 2.
But invariably they often
Yeah.
falter, and Kanoa seems to be stepping up, and his surfing seems to be getting better every year. So As we see a hard paddle there for the surfer in yellow.
Francesca couldn't quite get on that one.
And then we also saw Surf Ace, a new European wetsuit company who are doing a lot of good stuff. You can go on there, check them out online, and it's spelled SRFACE, surface.com. And they do, I was going to say cheap wetsuits, and not
No,
cheap
they're
wetsuits.
affordable.
They're affordable wetsuits.
Affordable, high-range wetsuits. I went on their website and was looking at it because you know when you buy a wetsuit online, it's always the sizing that's tricky. Because they don't stock in shops because you're basically buying straight from the supplier, so you're kind of missing out on the middleman, which keeps costs down. You go onto their website, you can go to the sizing, and it's just such an easy thing to do. You put in your height, your weight, your waist, and it will give you a band of the wetsuits that you should try. And they also do a 30-day return. So free post and packaging to you. You can try it for 30 days. You're not happy, send it back free of charge as well.
So if you're going on a cold water trip, you get a thick wetsuit, use it,
Give it a go, send it back.
Hopefully you'll fall in love with it so much you'll never want to get rid of it, ever.
I think I'm going to try one because it's nice not having a sponsor to a degree because you can kind of experiment and try different things. So I've got myself a Vizsla wetsuit. I'm going to probably get one of these ones as well and just kind of just surf whatever I want.
Do you know, I found it interesting when I moved, a couple of years ago, I moved from one sponsor to another, and I thought it was really interesting that the sizing of the wetsuits does change. So between all the biggest brands out there, the Quicksilvers, the Ripcos, the Billabongs, the Hurleys, the O'Neills, the XLs, the cut, the pattern, and the shape and size of the wetsuit changes. A large isn't a large across the board.
No.
Either that, or I just put
you've
a
got
bit of
bigger.
extra. Yeah.
I've gone the other way. I used to be, when I was with Hurley, I was mediums and snug, mediums, not a problem. And I've got a Vizsla, medium small, and Surface wetsuit's going to be a medium small as well. So.
See, I went from O'Neill, where I was a standard large, to Hurley now, and I'm an XL. But that's because I've been working out, you know.
Yeah.
No, maybe there's just different cut in the wetsuits. But coming back to the action, so as you were saying, Lauren Sandlin's upped her game. She's dropped another score, and suddenly the requirement for the other girls have gone up a notch.
Yeah.
So she's got a 4.8.
Now, Alice needed a 2.7, it's now gone up to a 5.7, so 3-point increase on requirements for Alice, Francesca, and Lily. Mr. B still out there with his little green dot?
Yeah, so if you see a little green dot, it's not a sniper taking aim, it's not some sort of SAS, Navy SEAL, it's our trusty cameraman, Mr. B.
Our water photographer. He is an absolute water baby. Mr. B Productions has his own website, YouTube channel, all sorts. 1 minute remaining.
It's coming down to the wire. There's a big requirement. So any of these girls now need the best wave of the heat. So they really need.
By not well over a point, by a point-ish.
But that's a clear differentiator, isn't it? You know,
But you've gone past the stage of doing it in 2 waves now. There's no time to get a wave and get back out again. You have to do it on your 1 wave in dying light, on a high tide, on a blustery June night. 40 seconds. Is Lauren going to do the double? I reckon she's going to do the double.
Poor girl. She's in the women's final as well.
Really?
She's tripling up.
Wow. So she's going to stay in her wave. Here we go. This is white. Alice Barr needs a 5.77. That wave has nothing through the inside. Maybe going to strengthen second place. Francesca needs a 2.6 to take second at the moment. 15 seconds. She's going to go again. But again, that tide is as high as it's going to get. Oh, nice little takeoff there. This is going to count. Nice snap under the lip.
Oh, and just not quite enough as we bring this heat to a close. That looked like hard work out there.
That did.
Just
And
with that changing light,
I was
isn't
going
it?
to say, it got so much darker from the start of the heat to the end of the heat. As we watch, hopefully the highlights will show you just how dark it's... Look how it was when we started the heat. It looks like it's still...
This was 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
It was a long heat.
Lunchtime.
It was a 12-hour heat. The girls were out there for a while.
And it just slowly gets darker and darker, and the conditions do get worse and
And
worse.
this is one of Lauren's scoring waves. So nice little swooping cutback. Connect there. Again, keeps the rail engaged.
And this is where she got stuck in,
yeah.
Shall I race it? Shall I cut back?
A little bit annoyed she didn't do a turn there, and then that kind of just puts her out of sync. However, that was a mid-range 4, and that was enough because the other girls didn't quite get that cutback, just put her a bit too far back into the white water. Goodness me. Lauren
You see it getting darker
went
and
the
darker.
double. And there we go.
It's
So
literally
10 hours later,
dark.
we have pitch black.
Yeah. And that was the last wave of the final from Alice Barton there, who finished in second place, we believe. But it looks like we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be back with the under 18 boys final. We're going to get Kat back in. I'm going to step out and have a cup of tea. Do not go away. We are here until about 11 o'clock.
Whatever generation you're in, you need to be responsible in the environment that you're in. We're not doing a great job because it's something that I don't remember as a kid. It's a world community of people coming together and trying to solve this problem, and that's amazing to see. So we've got a chance to rectify it, and I see it in front of my very own eyes, and that's happening.
Vou sambar lá na quadra da Mangueira. Eu vou, pra que vou chorar se amanhã é carnaval? Se amanhã é carnaval.
Welcome back to the Night Surf, presented by Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire. We haven't got Kat in. She's going to come in and do the women's final with Sam, so I'm going to stay for the under 18 boys. Who have we got in this under 18 boys?
We have got in the red Barnaby Cox, in the white Stanley Norman, in the yellow Lucas Skinner back with us, and in the blue Noah Caps. And here he is. He's made the right choice, wearing a bit of day glow on his wetsuit. I think that'd be a trick, wouldn't it? You'd go super bright wetsuit in the night surf, like disco pink, or something a bit more electric.
Like my backlight. Got my backlights nice and pink.
Okay, so we're going to have a quick look. I think we've got a wave while the adverts are on, and then we'll pull up the scores in a sec as well. Let's have a look. As you can see, it's starting to get dark. Here we go. Who is this? That is in the white. Stanley Norman. Just slashing and bouncing and working his way to the inside. Making the connection.
A little fin kick there on the end, and a little bonus left reform as well.
And that turn.
Oh, and he liked it.
That turn is something the judges will always like when you finish strong. So he got it looks like he probably got 5.67, and Noah Caps with a 6.33 to start us off.
Now Noah Caps was the under 16 boys champion last year, and he won 4 out of 5 events.
Strong, consistent.
So, yep, he finished second in the under 18 boys. Barnaby Cox is the defending night surf champion and also the tour leader from last year from the under 18 boys. So you've got the top 2 surfers. You've got Stanley Norman. Already Stanley finished last year in the under 18 boys. Didn't do many events. I think he was out somewhere else. Lucas Skinner, again, didn't get into the top 10 last year of the under 18 boys, but that's only because he's 11 years old.
And here we go, Noah Caps, working this one through the inside, getting a bit of rail in.
See what you mean about the wetsuit, though?
It helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, even if it only helps half a point, here we go. It didn't. So there's some simple maths that goes on here. Sometimes heats are decided at the end of it. You know, you get these heat totals. 10.5 beats someone with 10.25, and there's these percentiles in there. There's these decimal, you know, half a point, quarter of a point. Whereas actually, if he's wearing a bright wetsuit and it catches the judge's eye a bit more, and it looks like he's being a bit more dynamic, and he only gets half an extra point per wave, which is possible.
Yep.
Suddenly, if you compound that over his best 2 waves, that already makes 1 point.
Yeah.
But then if you set it off against somebody else who's not getting that extra half a point, that's actually 2 full points
Yeah,
of
the spread
difference.
doubles.
The spread.
Yeah.
So suddenly, if you saw a heat result that is 12 versus 10 points, you think, oh yeah, he hammered them. You know, that was a clear victory. Whereas these little things make a difference, and it's the same with how engaged you're on a wave, how much it looks like you want it, how much spray you put up. All these little things seem to make a profound difference when it comes to the end score.
Oh, this is Luke. This is White. This is Stanley again.
Ooh,
there was a nice turn.
That had intent to it.
He needs an inside connection to make this score go up, and he's going to cut back. He's waiting. He's patient. Has he got an inside? He has. And another fins free re-entry to Stanley. This is going to put Stanley right in there. He got a 5.6 for his previous wave. I'm going to say this is better than his other wave. I like that wave better than his.
It was
5.6,
crisp, wasn't it?
That first turn, fins out. There was innovation. It was done with power in a critical part of the wave. He was ticking boxes immediately.
I thought a couple of the calves were a little bit bitty. He could have opened them out a little bit more.
Bitty.
So I thought the linking in between the manoeuvres left a bit of meat on the bone.
Yeah.
But the turns themselves were crisp and neat and precise.
Individual turns were definitely high risk, high performance.
Here we go, Lucas Skinner trying to make something happen. He's choosing to go left into the rocks at North Fistral here. He's bouncing to try and make the connection, and it just goes into a big hole.
You can see. This is red now, Barnaby Cox. He's a nice, powerful, smooth, stylish surfer. No inside connection on that one, so the judges are now going to have their heads down. They're going to be playing catch-up with scores. 13 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. And the other thing about Noah Caps' wetsuit is at a stage like this, in this light, any advantage of the judges seeing you instantly is going to definitely help get their attention straight away.
Well, Luke's has got a bright pink board. That might help him a bit.
That could help. And Stanley's got bright yellow hair at the moment. So all the surfers are now going to have decent scores. Noah Caps got a 3.33. We think that's going to be replaced. We have a second score.
No, he just got that. That was his last score.
That was his last score for that left-hander. Well, I think Stanley's going to take the lead then. He only needs a 4. And I like that last wave of White. I'm going to say it's mid 6. I'd be quite happy to get that
high?
mid 6. Yeah. And then we do have a score for Barnaby and also Lucas, but didn't quite have the length right. Here we go. This is the young phenom. There's a better turn.
Just pushed it a little bit hard.
Got fins out, pivoted on his front foot, and now.
Oh, that's a nice turn from Stanley.
Stanley's looking fresh.
Oh, that was nice.
Has he got? This is literally right on the beach. He goes for a little couple up. Stanley's looking mid 6. Get me on the panel.
Good,
Get
very
me on
good.
the panel.
So that last wave was impressive as well then.
Yeah.
That'll be up around the 6 mark. So.
Yeah. So requirement for Noah could go up after the last wave of white there. So yeah, Stan's looking super sharp. I'm liking his surfing today.
I think his hair looks a bit more like Ed Sheeran. It's more ginger than blonde. He looks
You
like a cross
reckon?
between Eminem and Ed Sheeran.
Yeah,
Remember Eminem in his
yeah.
Marshall Mathers days?
Yep.
Like that kind of. It looks like he went wrong. Like it went for Marshall Mathers, but ended up with Ed Sheeran,
Ended up with Italo
which
Ferreira.
frankly isn't a bad
thing.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
Rapping to your acoustic guitar. Actually, Ed Sheeran's got a bit of a mean rap on him as well, hasn't he?
He loves a rap.
He can rap.
He absolutely loves a rap.
Bit of beatboxing.
There's a great story where he was sleeping on Jamie Foxx's couch for about 6 weeks.
Is that Jamie Foxx with a double X?
Yeah, the Jamie Foxx.
The Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Here we go. Noah Caps in the darkness. It's just as well that Noah's got those flashy yellow bits on his wetsuit because he's in blue, which is probably the worst colour to have under these dark circumstances.
You know what? I did a night surf many years ago, and I almost felt like I wanted some sort of protective. Here we go. You see, I've been riding in the yellow. This is Lucas Skinner flowing nicely. He's looking for a section.
Pops
Nice little air reverse.
There we go.
And finishes with a white wall climb and another little hit on the beach.
Okay.
Now it'll be interesting to see what the judges score there. It wasn't the biggest turn, but it was technically probably the most difficult turn I've seen so far.
Yeah, I still feel that Stanley's wave was better. But again, we're saying that this kid's only 11 years old and he's in the under 18 boys final.
And that is always a challenge, isn't it, for these young kids coming up against bigger surfers, because they inherently, their turns look bigger because they are bigger. They move more water, they cover bigger distances. But technically, Lucas, that was very impressive.
And I was talking yesterday to the judges, not while they were judging, obviously, because that's taken away from their job. But we were talking about how Stanley Norman physically has changed over the last couple of years, where he's a young man now, where he was kind of always that small kid, and now he's growing up to be a bit of a power surfer. And the last couple of waves for Stanley have kind of shown just how much snap he's getting, and his body's caught up with his surfing, or the other way around.
But I mean, he gets his boards made by Bradley down in France, but I always think it's very difficult when you're at such a high level, and we were talking about boards earlier, in the darkness, weaving his way, trying to keep his speed.
This is Noah.
It's very difficult when you grow so quickly. There's two things that happen. One, here we go in the white. Stan Norman looking for a backhand wave. He goes for a pop shot.
Yeah.
But as you grow, not only do your reactions change because the vessel that you're used to controlling, you see Lucas Skinner looking to make something happen, but your limbs get longer, your muscles work in different ways. So physically you're changing so much that the movement patterns that you've got used to when you're a small child suddenly become almost redundant. That's why teenagers are so sort of clumsy and kind of knock things over, and their feet suddenly grow, and their hands and their legs. But then
the coordination is slow to catch up to the physical changes.
But then also the boards that you've become used to riding, suddenly, you need to add a couple of liters every few months.
If there's one thing I know about shaping boards for younger surfers, is they hate going up in size.
They're used to riding. I ride a 5'6", and that's my board
it's
size.
Like, but you're 5'11" now.
You need a 6 foot
You need
board.
to step up. And one of our surfers, Angus Scotney, who's now a surf coach, I think he's in the Maldives, and then he's heading to Fiji.
Oh wow, it's a hard.
He's doing right. So we picked Angus up when he was 14, and he was a 6'1" then, surfing 5'11s. So we were trying to edge him up, and once he grew up and he kind of understood that.
Once he stopped sprouting.
Yeah, once he stopped growing. Once he stopped growing, he stopped around about 6'2", 6'3". Then the mind caught up with what he should be doing. But it's very, surfers are these creatures, like any sports person. They're a creature of habit, and they don't want to change things in the past that may influence what they're doing at that stage in the future. They're kind of. Always put your wetsuit on the right way. Make sure your leash is the right way around. Do a certain wax job or whatever it is. It's kind of
little routines, pre-heat routines.
But you have that in every sport. I remember Michael Jordan used to wear his North Carolina shorts underneath his Chicago Bulls shorts.
Did he?
Yeah, his college shorts he used to wear underneath. Just stupid little things that have absolutely no bearing on your performance except for the mental side of it.
Well, it's very important, but the physical side comes into it as well. And physically, Stan Norman has locked in, as you said, that extra, the backup score now. So he's got a 6.57 and a 6.47. So So he's way out in the lead, and Noah Capps is now looking again for that 6.72, which would be the highest scoring wave of the heat, and he's just connected with a nice section there, and he's pushed on another one there. Has he got a connection on the left? No, he dives off. So we didn't see what happened at the start of that wave.
This is red. This is Barnaby. Barnaby pretty quiet. Little fin drift there. Comes through the inside. There's a nice drift in tail. He kind of kicked his fins out, had too much weight on his front foot, and couldn't get the connection back.
And
with
left
the
it
fins.
hanging there.
Yeah. So
I mean, lazy, not as in he's not lazy as a person, but that movement, he didn't recoil fast enough.
Yeah.
He pushed it out, like
he put it out there and
left it.
and kind of sat on his front foot, and then just kind of lost the wave. Under 6 minutes then, Stanley Norman in a pretty strong first place, a 6.5 and a 6.4. This is young Lucas Skinner in third at the moment. Just a quick up and down there for
So
Lucas.
it looks like he got a 4.17 for that air reverse. So the judges rewarded it, but
Yeah.
didn't fall in love with it.
No. It was basically one manoeuvre done halfway along the wave on a whitewater section, so it's a very tricky manoeuvre.
A sign of things to come from him, though.
This is it, again, only 11 years old. And I was remembering, I was commentating his heat last year at the Boardmasters, saying that he could enter this contest, the Boardmasters, another 30 times and still be a threat. You know, if you take Kelly Slater as now our new
benchmark.
canary down the mine sort of thing, if he can still do what he's doing at 47. So 5 minutes on the clock, under 18 boys final. I'm feeling good for Stanley. I think Stan's got this one in the bag. Noah, I've seen Noah surf so many times now over the past couple of years, and he does just get better and better. Obviously, massively influenced by his dad, Mark. I imagine Mark's going to be down here somewhere in the massive Winnebago.
But Mark's a great surfer as well.
Yeah, I remember competing against Mark all the time back in the day.
Ferocious competitor. He had
Annoyingly. There were so many of those. There were so many of those surfers I used to hate surfing against.
Mike Raven.
Oh my God! Don't ask me about Mike. I got nothing for love for Mike now, but back in the day, he was just
an animal.
Oh, I could not beat him. And I remember, and he reminded me of this years later. Here we go. This is yellow. I remember saying to Mike in a heat.
That was a nice turn.
I was so annoyed that I couldn't beat him. I said, "I'm gonna beat you in or out of the water." And I don't know why I said it. And he reminded me about 15 years later when we did an Etnies trip together. He's like, "Remember that heat when you said you were gonna beat me in and out of the?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sorry about that."
And so what happened? Luckily, you beat him in the heat or not?
I did eventually. I did beat him in the heat, and he said, "About time." Like fair play. Here we go. Yeah, Stan's looking good. He's looking sharp.
Interesting how much spray came up then. That was a bit of that was like a Medina from the mid 2000s turn.
That's a
A
wiggly.
wiggly turn, like where they just put the board up against the lip
And there's an explosion of spray, yeah.
rather than
it's
turning
bizarre.
through it.
But again, Stanley's been training with Joel Gray from Surf Solutions, as a lot of these younger surfers have. I think they did a trip to the Maldives.
I don't know if Stan was on it.
Yeah, I know a couple of them.
But what a great opportunity, what a great thing to be able to do, to get coaching, to get video analysis, to get help with your strength and conditioning training. I think it's such a. But then it happens in this country, but you know what's happening in Brazil, you know what's happening in France, in Hawaii, in America.
Everywhere.
So it would be nice to be able to do all this coaching and things 20 years ago when nobody else was really doing it, but actually it's happening around the world, so we have to do it to keep up.
Yeah.
And it would be great to see some of these kids step up on the world stage.
Yeah, at the moment we have, obviously on the women's side, we have Peony, Lucy and Ellie all doing the QSs. And I'm sure it won't be long before we see some of these younger surfers jumping on board. So Noah.
A nicely timed finishing turn. We didn't see what he did earlier on that wave.
And high tide, they should be able to hear now what Nick's telling them through the speakers outside. Our beach commentator, Nick Williams, there.
When they finish on the sand, they're right underneath the big lifeguard building here.
And yesterday, with the strong kind of cross-shore wind going from right to left, as we look out to see that the younger surfers were doing a run around, so I was kind of telling them as they run past where they were and the time. Here we go, this is Lucas building speed, and again, it's pretty much just dark out there now. This is purely our light stanchions creating this visual that we can kind of see. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Noah Caps needs a 6.7, which is going to be the best wave of the heat.
And again, I think that's nice for the judges. They have a concrete reference. They have a. Here we go. Lucas looking for something huge on the inside.
Doing it. He's got that stance going. Oh yeah, fourth on. Yep. Body language is kicked in. He's in fourth place. What does he need to take third? He needs a 5, pretty much.
No, for third he only needs
a 4.
Yeah,
he needs a 4. Probably not going to get it now because he's right on the inside. Under a minute then. Under 18 boys final. We could be crowning a new under 18 boys champion. Barnaby Cox, defending champion, needs an 8.4. That's going to be the best wave we've seen all day. And see our cameramen and women just looking for the surfers.
Frantically searching in the dark under the searchlights.
Just anything. Any flicker of a whiteness of board or a rash vest.
It's so tricky.
It is so dark. There we go, that's somebody, I think that was red. Last 15 seconds then. It looks like we're going to have Stan the man. He's going to be taking his first night surf trophy.
Amazing. So in the under 18 boys final.
Ooh, look at Noah's wave, it's so close.
Goodness me, so Noah came in with a 6.07. He missed out just. So it looks like it's going to be Stanley Norman taking the win, Noah Caps in second, Barnaby Cox in third, and Lucas Skinner rounding out the final ahead of the curve. But very, very impressive. Here's a quick recap. And this was one of the scoring rides for Stanley Norman. Just slashing his way and just maintaining his speed, working through that flat bit, and then now it comes into a little rhythm section. A good hit there. Yeah. Redirect. And this is where it was worth sticking with this wave, because this finishing turn, that one, because it's right underneath the judges' noses. It's right there. They can see the technicality of it.
He just looked slightly sharper than everyone else in this final. Noah was obviously looking for that 6.7 towards the end. Give it a good go. Came up 7/10 short of his requirement.
But you see, I mean, look at this turn.
It's just so a bit flatter.
But he just didn't get the section there that he needed. That was a good turn.
Yeah, this is the wave we liked. Even though he had this little downtime through the middle part of this wave, he was playing the patient game. He knew he couldn't really force anything there. Gets through the inside and then bang again, kicks the fins out. And I think that was his. Was that his best wave? That was his 6 point. And he finished all the way.
So there was essentially two notable turns on either one of those waves. The backhand closing turn on the left,
and then
that double up combo on the right. And it's just that snappiness, the little back foot push through. That was a nice turn from Lucas. He just came slightly stuck there.
Maybe he just got kind of lost in the darkness through that rotation. And this was your winner then, Stanley Norman, taking the under 18s. Sponsored by Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire. Again, thanks to Fistral Beach for sponsoring all our categories this year. Barnaby Cox there. No, I do apologise. And then Lucas was just looking at something special. And this was that 4.1.
Yeah.
Nice little re-entry reverse.
There was just no height. It was very lateral. It was very flat. Yeah. But from a technique point of view,
it's pretty flawless.
He's been putting in
the work. He's only 11. So he's going to have a lot of future. 11 years old.
Reverses.
I wasn't even surfing at 11. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, I promise you we're going to have Kat sat here next to instead of me for the women's final. Last two finals coming up.
And then we'll get you back for the men's final.
And I'll come back for the men's final. So don't go away. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Chorar se amanhã é carnaval. Se amanhã é carnaval.
Do you want them?
Do I want them? Do I want the glasses?
Do you want the glasses?
Welcome back. So welcome to the night surf presented by Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire. Kat's joined me. She's now wearing glasses, so feel free to text in or message us with any incredibly difficult questions, which you will obviously be able to answer. We are now live with the Women's Open Final in the darkness.
Oh, it's chilly out there. I have just been out.
Have
The
you?
atmosphere's amazing. Yeah,
Nice.
hence why I have got this hoodie on.
Does it feel like Christmas out there?
I wouldn't say Christmas, just a nice, fresh summer's night with just lots of atmosphere.
And a slight breeze.
Not Christmas.
Not Christmas?
No, it's
bet-
a little
is it-
bit warmer than that.
Are people drinking mulled gins on World Gin Day? Surely that's what they should be drinking, surely.
Oh, I love mulled gin. But no, Fistral Beach Bar is absolutely heaving though.
It's amazing,
I
isn't
can
it?
tell
It's
you
such
that,
cool. That's a
yes.
nice thing with this event. It's such a different atmosphere. It is difficult. It's tricky. It's hard to see the waves, but we've got amazing lights up. We've got action in the water. You can almost see our
Oh.
competitors. It's been a slow start to the heat so far. 3 minutes in, we've got Emily Curry with a 1.23, Ellie Turner with a 1, and Peony Knight with a 0.9, and Lauren Lolly Sandlin. And now you've been paying attention. You know that Lauren has been in the under 14s final and won
Yeah.
that. She was in the under 18s final, and now she's in the women's open final.
Amazing. I wish I could do this one
You-
day. How is it
You
for you
can.
doing
I don't.
a
I
night?
don't fancy a chance. I don't want to cast aspersions, but I don't fancy a chance of getting in the under 14s final.
Okay, maybe not under 14s. Not anymore. That day is gone, hasn't it? That day has passed. But what about you doing a night surf? You've done it before?
Yes. I don't know if I've won one. I've won a few of these things, but I don't think I ever won the night surf.
What's
I
it
don't
like?
think. It's difficult. I was saying to Lee earlier, when you're in the water now, it's actually nicer looking out to sea as we see up and
Yeah.
riding. Oh, the wave's gone a bit flat, so it is very difficult to see. We are straining to look at our screen here, so I can only imagine what it's like for the judges and the camera crew. But yeah, it's actually incredibly difficult. So here we go. We've got Emily Curry has locked in a 3.67. Now, they're not the biggest scores, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether you get a 3 or an 8, as long as it's more than your competitors. Oh, that was a strong first turn. That's Peony Knight, who comes from a very, very strong surfing family. Her dad, her brothers, they all surf.
I follow her on Instagram. She is. She's
Amazing,
one
actually.
I follow. She is amazing.
No, it's a really, really cool family and proper ocean people. They have a boat. And did you see the Great British Swim?
I haven't.
So her
Tell me.
dad skipped his boat, and I think of his name in a sec, but I'll get there in a moment. But they did a swim all around the UK without, so they would stop, stay in the exact place,
Yeah.
and then go again the next day, and they swam all around the British Isles.
That is an ocean lover.
It is. I
that
will
is an
pull that up
ocean
in a
lover.
second. So
Indeed.
we have 15 minutes gone in the darkness.
It is
So-
pitch black.
So
now,
tell me a
isn't
bit
it,
more
really?
about the atmosphere outside. How
It's
is it?
brilliant. I just wanted to get out there, hence why I did.
Do you see that green little dot?
Yes, that's our photographer, isn't
that's
it?
Mr. B filming in the darkness.
Thank God he's got a light on. But yeah, no, the atmosphere is brilliant out there. We obviously couldn't have the fireworks because of the wind, which is a shame.
Might be slightly dangerous as we see Lawrence Sandlin trying to make a connection there, and the waves just back off. So back to what it's like out there. So the lights are obviously shining from the land out to sea. So when you look out to sea, the waves are actually lit up, but you do feel like there's a physical barrier around you of what you can see.
Yeah.
You know, you can't see the way. When you surf, you're used to seeing the waves stand up on the horizon. You can see the sets coming. You know, you see about 200 yards ahead of you. You see waves coming in. You start to position yourself. And the difficult thing is, with these lights, we can see the white water. And you can see on the screen that the light reflects off the white water. But you can't catch the wave in the white water. You need to catch it before it breaks. So in actual fact, it's so difficult because the waves kind of come out of nowhere, because the light has a finite distance that it can reach. So you're peering into the murkiness, and then suddenly these waves stand up. So watch this. So we've got Emily Curry, you saw her swing around there right at the last instant, because you don't see the waves coming.
No.
You don't have that preparation time.
Oh,
Bit of a body slam there.
that was. I think I would be absolutely terrified.
A friend of mine's just opened a restaurant in Porthleven called the Muscle Shoal.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly a place worth checking out. Right on the harbour in Porthleven. And the reason I mention it is because they've got a belly belly flop championship that they're going to do at a high tide off the railings.
Are you going to compete?
I don't know if I'm brave enough. I don't know if I've developed my belly enough. I'm working on it.
Developed your belly.
Yeah, it needs work.
I suppose you would, wouldn't you?
So here we go. So we saw that wave of Peony Night, where she really got a hold of that first turn, and then she connected with the second turn, then the wave went a bit flat, but that was a 5, 6, 7. So that's the highest scoring wave of the heat so far.
Do surfers ever talk to each other whilst they're out there?
Some do. So it's all psychological warfare out there. So you want to win. It's all nice and friendly on the land, but then in the water, you're there to do a job. So you some people use this kind of communication, this verbal kind of, hey, how was your last wave? Was that any good? Oh, you only got a 3. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
It's kind of this passive aggressive kind of thing. Others just utterly blank you.
Focus on it.
Sometimes, and I know when I was in heat, I would, if I didn't have any good scores, I would just concentrate and try and get my scores. As we see up and riding, Ellie Turner. So Ellie Turner is probably the most highly regarded female surfer in the UK at the moment in terms of potential, some of the things she's done on the international stage. So she's just locked in a 6.27.
How old is Ellie?
I think Ellie is late teens. I think she's 17, 18. But she's a phenomenal talent, and it shows. She's got 6.27 and 3.27. So she knows she's had one really good score. So I'm surprised she took that little wave, but what she's trying to do is back up that 6. So she just sticks her board up there, waiting for the reform. And you hear us talking a lot about the reform. So these waves, especially at high tide at Fistral, they break on a bank outside, and then there's a deep bit where the wave backs off. So that's why you see them pumping, then working their boards. And then as they come to the inside, as the water gets shallower again, the wave stands up, and they're looking for that next section.
Oh, I remember when I was trying to get my first green waves, and it was all the reforms
that
I was trying to catch.
So here we go. We see Lauren. So this is her third final. And again, this is where she's looking for that inside connection. She's gone a little bit high, so she'll probably lose the wave.
Okay.
And that's where she just missed out on that inside connection. And did you succeed in getting your...
I did succeed, and now I go out back as much as possible.
Do you
Not the other day.
Do you have a size limit?
I do. I caught my biggest wave the other day, and it was just over 4 to 5 foot.
So was it head high?
And I know it's probably shoulder high for me. Yeah, I'm 5'4.5".
Roughly.
Yeah.
That
roughly.
half is important.
5'4.5" is very important.
Is it?
I haven't actually measured myself, so that could have changed. But yeah, I'm just getting more and more comfortable going in bigger waves, and then you get that limit, and then I can't quite crack. As you know, I see the chart and I think, oh, it says 4 foot, and I'm like, do I go? Do I risk it? Otherwise, I'll just panic and then come back in. So it's what you've got to be comfortable in, right?
But you've got inside info when it comes to charts. So explain again. So you work at the... Are we allowed to say where you work?
You can say where I work. I trust you.
So you work at the Met Office?
I work at the Met Office, and I actually work in the Flood Forecasting Centre.
Okay.
In particular. But we do have oceanographers there, and mainly looking at the winds, the wind speeds and things. So you can check other forecasting sites, of course. So basically, any forecast is looking at loads of different information. So
it's just data.
It's just data, and it's you interpreting that data, which makes you a forecaster.
And then they use algorithms and predictive models to take past events and past readings.
It'll be the observations that they'll take. They're constantly doing observations.
So that was a good first turn for Peony Night. The second turn, the wave flattens out. So that was that first turn was similar to the turn she did on her 5.67, but then the second turn wasn't as strong, and the wave didn't give her anything more to work with. And she only needs a 3.67 to move up into the lead.
Still 8 minutes. Plenty of time.
Just over 8 minutes to go. Plenty of time. And you can see the surfers, at the moment, it's taking them about between a minute and 2 minutes to paddle all the way back out the back. And here we go. She's having another look. So I would say Ellie Turner is the favourite. Although Peony has been winning titles left, right, and centre recently, so and Emily Curry can't count her out. And then Lauren Sandland doesn't look like she's fully kicked into gear. That was a nice wave, though. Did you see that right-hander there? As we see the monster of the deep,
There is
also
going
known
to be
as
some
Mr.
beautiful photos from this, aren't there?
It's going to be stunning.
Really good night for it.
It's absolutely lovely. Here we go, having a look. Let's see, will this wave stand up?
Oh.
And this is the massively frustrating thing, I think, with surfing, that no matter how good a surfer you are, you can be the very best surfer in the world. If the wave doesn't give you the opportunity, you cannot do what you want to do. So take tennis, take any other sport, take football. Ultimately, if you are by far the best in the world, you get that chance. You make your own, you create your own destiny. You are utterly in control of what you do. As we see, up and riding. That's a nice swooping backhand turn. And again, wow, those were two great turns from the youngest competitor in the final. That was a fantastic wave. And Lauren's got a really strong backhand. She has really nice technique, really nice form. And did you see that wave looked nice and smooth, in control, quite powerful for such a young competitor? My only criticism is sometimes with Lolly is that she is a bit single speed. Here we go, having a look. Peony Knight. Oh, this is Ellie Turner, apologies. So Ellie, and here we go. She's looking for that section. The wave's starting to stand up.
Yes.
It's not giving her as much as she'd hoped. That was a fantastic wave from Lauren Sandland. And sometimes, I was saying to Lee earlier, the best surfers in the world seem to change the speed. A bit like in tennis, or where there's a slow approach and a build-up, and then at the critical point they whip through the impact. And same with surfing. If you can whip through the impact, there's more spray, it looks more critical, more dynamic.
It's like a dance, isn't it, really?
It is. It is.
Elegant.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Don't think my surfing looks like that.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Some people have said, when you're in the water and they go, oh, great wave, great wave. And I was like, thank you, but it's not like that. Definitely not.
Well, these girls have had a bit more time in the water than you have. So how long ago did you start?
I started, my first time was 4 years ago.
Okay.
And now I've moved down to Exeter, try and go in at least once a week, which, with a full-time job, it's hard. I don't live near the beach. I have to drive an hour and a half away, but very lucky to live in the southwest. So, yeah, now even brighter after work, I can try and get in.
Where do you normally surf from Exeter?
I'm a North Devon girl.
Croyd and such.
Not Croyd, not just yet. Croyd's a bit heavy for me, but surfed Woolacombe the other day, which is where I caught my biggest wave, and was so happy. It felt right. Do you know what I mean? I just felt like I was riding the wave and actually understanding the wave. And Putsborough, Saunton is my go-to. Saunton's where I learned to surf, and I would recommend it to anybody. It's got the nicest, softest break, a really good longboarding wave. Do you ever come up? Do you ever go to North Devon?
Occasionally, yeah. I've been up there a bit, surfed Croyd quite a bit.
Yeah.
Putsborough.
Putsborough's great. It has a lot of shelter.
No, it's a lovely part of the world.
I absolutely love. I love Cornwall, but Devon has stolen my heart, I think.
Really controversial.
I know. I'm sorry.
So it looks like Lauren's last wave was a 3.67. That came in a lot lower than I thought it would. But maybe it is that lack of impact, just because the top turn was a little bit the same speed throughout.
Right.
She could do with being a little bit more whippy, a bit more aggressive.
And how long have you been surfing then?
A year or two.
Yeah.
I guess I started.
I won't guess your age either.
That's fine. I've been surfing over 30 years, which is
older than me.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
Is that okay?
That's fine. Do you know what? Here we go. I think Peony Knight's up on that one. She's done one turn and another one. Look at this section. That was a good turn. Can we get the camera on her? That was an impressive wave, I think. She linked a couple of good turns. So it'll be interesting to see where that comes in. She only needs a 4.94, and I would say that was definitely that score. But we will see.
It's so intense. They must be absolutely exhausted.
Oh, here we go. Ellie Turner trying to protect her lead. So she's sitting on a 4.33. So anything she does that's higher than that makes it more difficult for the girls trying to overtake her. She's working through the inside, working her board, trying to get speed out of it, and all the way onto the sand. As she steps up casually.
Oh, high tide.
Says 3 minutes to go. Now she has to choose. Does she paddle back out? It looks like she will. So she'll probably get out there with a minute to go.
Okay.
So it's a long paddle now.
That is still something I can't do.
Duck
I'm on a
dive.
7-2 board. Don't think the volume of the board is just...
Well, I
I'm
mean,
just turtle rolling at the moment.
that's absolutely fine. Turtle rolling or Eskimo rolling.
Oh, is that
Just
the
make
other?
sure, they sometimes call it an Eskimo roll, but just remember when you roll your board to tuck your elbows in so the board doesn't whack you in the face. So if you hold the board close to the nose and then tuck your elbows in, it kind of gives you that bubble
A
between
little
you
bit
and
more
the,
of shelter.
Yep.
Okay.
and it stops the board whacking back in your face. So with 2.5 minutes to go, we're waiting anxiously on that last score from Peony Knight. And then we're also going to see if Ellie Turner increases her lead with that last wave. And we're just waiting for that last score. So real quick, before we get to the end of this, because we're going to lose you soon, because Lee is going to jump in your hot seat. Where can people find you?
Instagram, cats_surf_forecast.
Cat
with
spelt
a K.
with a K,
With
okay.
a K, not a cat. I love cats.
Look at that, Peony Knight, 7.0. This is what we were thinking. So Ellie Turner has to improve her 4.33 and knock it up to a 6.41. So she's just had a wave. We're waiting on one more score for the last of Ellie Turner. But with that wave, and we saw it was impressive. There was a couple of good turns back to back. It'll be interesting to see if Ellie can... There wasn't anything super impressive I saw on Ellie's wave. Oh, she's up again.
1.5 minutes remaining.
Ellie's up on the inside. Oh, it's nail-biting stuff. So, they can find you...
Yep, find me on
Cat.
Instagram for your daily forecast for the Southwest. Instagram, cats_surf_forecast. Or on Facebook, or main channel is my YouTube channel, which is where I do the weekly surf reports from my bedroom.
So
One day, hopefully on the beach.
with the inside hotline direct from the Met Office that you crunch the numbers, speak to the experts and use your own expertise.
Oh, you're really making it sound a lot more elegant than it is.
I want to check this out. And where do you find...
do
where are
check
you,
me out.
Where are you on YouTube?
YouTube is everything is cat surf forecasts. It's very simple.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, there's also vlogs as well. I'll be doing a vlog for this, so there'll be all backstage snippets as well. So if anyone wants to check that out, what actually goes on and all the technicalities of this studio, that will all be filmed.
Amazing. And look at this, Ellie Turner right at the death. She's now got a 6.57 and a 6.27, so she's jumped back into the lead. And Peony only needs a 5.85. And look at there, she's scratching trying to get into this one with 20 seconds to go. Oh my goodness, that was close.
And if she gets on a wave within these 10 seconds,
She has to stand up. Yes, she has to stand up. Her hands have to leave the rails and she has to be on her feet before the horn sounds.
Here she goes.
So she's scratching.
Oh.
So it's just too late. So I don't think this wave will count. Oh, and I don't think it would be enough anyway. So what a seesaw battle. That was exciting.
That is exciting. And it is my first ever surf contest properly watching it. I'm not one to actually sit and watch any surf contests, but
It's
now
one of
I
those-
think...
It's one of those things that gets geekishly... That's not even a word, is it?
Geekishly? I can't even say
Geekily.
it. Geekily
Addictive, because you
that's
start
it.
looking for the subtleties and the nuances. And what you look for here, we'll see a couple of these waves and you'll see strong turns. So nothing yet, and nothing really there. But we'll see that was a good turn. And then when there's a good section, a little bit soft there.
You
but
can spray as well. It
yes, so here we go.
really highlights it.
That was okay. So this was Lauren's wave. I thought that was quite a nice turn. I thought it was good. But you'll see there's a couple of turns here that we're going to pick up where you see the speed and the power. Here we go, is this one. A nice little float over the section. She's just kind of staying with the wave, and then will it stand up here? So that's a slight... the wave not really giving her much. But we're just about to kick into the men's final as well. A little turn onto the inside here. And that is our champion, Ellie Turner.
Brilliant. Well done,
Wins
Ellie.
a nice serve, 2019. And that horn that you hear signals the start of the men's final. So you've enjoyed your time here.
I have indeed. It has been absolutely fab.
Fantastic.
Saying, gonna go and get a drink and
Nice.
yeah, I'll just chill out in the morning. I might go in for a surf actually. I bought my
Treat
wetsuit,
yourself.
not my board.
Treat yourself. There's plenty of boards kicking around.
Yeah, I'll grab one.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna
Thank you,
cut-
everybody.
We're going to cut to a quick advert.
Yeah.
And enjoy your time at the night surf.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Vou sambar lá na quadra da Mangueira. Eu vou, pra que vou chorar se amanhã é carnaval? Se amanhã é carnaval.
Welcome back to the Night Surf presented by Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire. We are in the final of the day, the Men's Open. We have 4 surfers out the back, believe it or not. There you go on screen in red. Ruben Ash, his brother Joss Ash is in the blue. Russ Winter, local legend and British legend. And Jace Robinson, current English champion and number 2 in Britain. 18 minutes on the clock. And I was watching the women's there, and it looked like a nice back and forth battle between Peony and Ellie there for the final couple of minutes.
Really good. Definitely 2 surfers on form. It was impressive to see how many quality of the waves they managed to pick out in the gloom.
Yeah.
And they surfed them really well. There was a couple of, and do you know what? It's the simple, good turns that really stand up to scrutiny.
Yeah.
You know, you saw the quality turns that they were doing, and that little bit of extra speed, the extra bit of power that they put in, and obviously that's born out of good technique. But a really solid, impressive display of surfing, and it was exciting. And it came down to the last few minutes.
Well, they were in the finals of the British a couple of weeks ago in Jersey, and Peony beat Ellie in the Open. Ellie took out the under-18 girls, so Ellie's just now got a revenge. Here we go, Ruben then. He's the defending UK Pro Tour champion.
And he's got the most progressive aerial game out of any of the surfers in the UK.
Yeah.
And he's just seeing if something's going to stand up on the inside for him.
Oh.
And I think that was forced. He didn't need to do that. So he opened up with a 3.5, and Joss has just opened up with a little 1.17. Who's your money on?
Do you know what? Jace has been looking really nice.
Just consistent, isn't he?
Yeah, looking really good all event. Russ hasn't competed in a couple of years, so there's probably a little bit of rust, but it's
He
still
is
Russ
Winter, yes.
Russ Winter, so that doesn't mean nothing really. Ruben is solid. He took out the tour last year. He made every final bar, I think this one, because they were in Japan. This is it was the wave pool, the Snowdonia. He didn't make because he was in Japan representing Great Britain. And Joss has to be the dark horse in this heat because he's just been putting heats together really good. And again, he's strong, he's powerful, he's got an air game, he's a handsome chap, he's super nice. It would be nice for
He does
Joss.
model. When he's not surfing, he's a model.
He's a model, yeah, that's his job. He goes to and from London modelling. And I don't think Joss has ever won one of our UK Pro Surf Tour events. And I think it's about time he did.
Well,
I'm going to go Joss. I want Joss. My heart says Joss.
really?
Yeah, I'm going for Joss.
I'm not with you with that one.
No.
I just think if the waves were clean and there was a good shape to them, I could see Joss doing something. But I just feel like it's these kind of surfs, like Russ Winter, who generate speed more. Joss needs to flow. He needs power in the waves. Whereas the likes of Ruben, Jace, Russ, they seem to sort of terrier a bit more. They generate their own speed a bit more than Joss.
They're more aggressive, and under these conditions, with this very limited life like we have, white water captures the eye, captures the judge's imagination. Ruben's there. You got that last wave for Ruben where he didn't finish the air reverse of 4.8.
So again,
that's
that could have been
kinda-
a 5.5.
Yeah,
you know,
and
just
he's up again on screen there, just coming out of the darkness. He's sticking
Bit
with
of
his
spray.
left-handers, yeah. It's always the spray.
wow. So
in
that's
the
gonna.
dark.
Oh,
I think that really captures the judges' imaginations.
So just a quick shout out to our sponsors again. It's fantastic to have Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire on board. They are based down here. And Altco, who create amazing resin drives and floorings from recycled plastic. It's great to have Roxy and Quicksilver joining us, and Surf Ace, a new wetsuit company from Europe, who offer a 30-day money-back guarantee or free returns, which is pretty cool. Buy a wetsuit online, and the bag that the wetsuit gets sent out in is fully reusable. A handy wetsuit bag. So
absolutely
great to have those sponsors on board. And also, we need to mention Clean Break. So check out UK Pro Surf Tour / or ukprosurf.com/clean breaks, and see all the great partnerships that they are launching there together with 2 Minute Beach Clean.
Without them, we wouldn't be here, and neither would Ellie Turner. We're going to go to Ellie Turner for an interview under our women's champion.
Yes,
for
indeed.
2019.
In the last few minutes.
Fistral Beach night surf. I've managed to catch up with young Ellie Turner. She's just won. She's just come first place in the Open Ladies. So, Ellie, how did you go out there?
It's pretty hard, obviously, because it's like dark and high tide, but there is some fun waves, and it was super close between me and Peony in the end, but just about won, so happy.
Yeah, we were watching it on the live monitors, and I think she had you right up until the last 20 seconds. That must have felt good taking it from her at the last minute, hey?
Yeah, I was so happy. I thought she won, to be fair, when I heard she got a 7, but wasn't quite enough, so I was pretty lucky.
Well, super congratulations to you, Ellie, and I look forward to catching up with you again on the rest of the tour.
Yeah, sick, thank you.
Cheers. Well, back to the guys in the studio.
There you go. Under-18s champion, under-18s women's champion for 2019.
A young lady with a very bright future.
Yeah, she's been on the QS since she was 15. So I think she's like 17 or 18 now, Ellie Turner. Here we go. This is Jace Robinson in the white. So used to seeing him in the yellow.
And this is that consistency that we're talking about. He's just worked this through the inside, and he's looking for that inside connection. Is there a section? No, nothing happening there. So he's going to scramble to get back out the back. So at the moment we've got Ruben Ash with a 4.83 and a 3.73, and then in the darkness there's Joss Ash, who's got a 1.57 and a 1.17. A very, very low total so far. Russ Winter, we saw him on a wave then. He's got a 1.70 and a 0.97. I'm sure that last wave will knock out that 0.97. And then Jace Robinson, previous to that last wave, just had a 1 and a 0.67. So a little bit misleading, the scoreboard, but we definitely have Ruben Ash
two scores
in front.
2 scores of consequence to drop for yellow and white. Joss, body language suggested he didn't really do much out the back. And another thing going against Joss is he's probably the biggest, heaviest surfer in the final as well. He's well over 6 foot tall. So
and he's been working out.
He's
hench.
Does he? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he has to be. Has to be. Unless you're modelling for Giacomo.
Here we go. Boom.
There we go. Speak of the devil, and ye shall appear. Mr. Ash there. So currently in second place. Needing a big 7.0. But we do have 2 scores for Russ and for Jace to drop in, which would change things. 9 minutes gone already in the final.
It flies by, doesn't it?
It does. I didn't know if we were going to give the surfers an extra 5 minutes, but the problem with that is the tide would be further away from us now, because high tide was at 10 o'clock. So that would have added literally another 30 minutes or 25 minutes onto the schedule. And the surfers would be surfing in the dark because the lights don't go that
far.
Have a
finite reach.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go. Out the back.
Russie.
This looks like the surfer in yellow, Russ Winter. Just didn't quite connect with that one. I think the light's playing.
Yeah, maybe misread that lip line there. So, just a couple of scores to come through. There you go. Jace Robinson, 3.5, moves him up into second. Still waiting for. I'm pretty sure we're still waiting for a wave for.
Oh, there's
Ruben.
a nice turn.
There we go. Trying to get rid of that 3.7.
And I mean, at this point, when the judges have been sitting there all day, they are looking just for something that gets them excited.
Yeah.
And the way we just saw that turn, went, ooh.
Now,
it was only one turn, but just that, I feel like it could knock that 3.73 out. It was just a clean connection, wasn't it? It was crisp.
Yep. Looks like there's judges are caught up. Jace.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. Joss Ash, nice flow, and just comes unstuck there.
So a massive reshuffle. Ruben's still in the first place. Russell now up into second place with a 2.8 and a 2.4. Joss has a 3.4, and Jace, who was in second only seconds ago, is now back down in fourth place. It's all about the backup scores at the moment, although a pair of mid-twos for Russ in second place.
Looks vulnerable to me.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got Joss Ash with a 3.4 and Jace with a little foam climb there. That was Russ again. He's just coming unstuck. He had that really nice section that he approached with speed about 2 or 3 minutes ago, and he just seemed to come unstuck just as he was lining up to hit it. And I don't know if it's wax or whether it's the light.
Just adjusting to these. The only chance you get to surf under these conditions is in an event like this, and there's only a couple of these around the world, so it's not like you can go from event to event. Yeah, I mean, we had a couple of free surfers last night surfing just outside the contest area, just getting used to the lamps, because they've never surfed in the dark before. None of us really have.
And here's Jace, nice slash there on the open face, and he's just working this wave over, waiting for it to stand up. He's got a bit of speed. Nice clean turn. Just looking for another section. Oh, it does. Oh, no.
Just dies in the corner there.
But again, close to the judges. Yep. They can pay attention to that. He connected with the lip.
So any improvement on a 3.5, and his requirement is going to come down from a 5. But Ruben maybe still waiting for that last backhand re-entry score, or maybe the judges didn't think it was higher than a 3.7 for one manoeuvre.
Oh, and I thought that wave took a lot of energy, took a lot of time, and probably didn't improve his position particularly.
Ruben telling me he hasn't been surfing that much lately. He's very busy with his surf school.
There we go. 5.6 for that one big turn.
That makes a difference. So everyone's requirements go up now considerably.
I mean, he's had the 2 highest scoring waves of the final.
Yeah.
So the moment you start doing things like that, it becomes very difficult for your competitors.
And once he hears that, he's going to settle down. I mean, there's 7.5 minutes now remaining. He's got a pretty solid lead. Everyone else is going to need a score at least a point better than his best wave. 2 points better than his best wave.
Do you know what, though? I mean, normally you'd say, yeah, you can now sit out the back and wait for a good one to come. You don't see the good ones.
No.
You know, so the challenge, I think, in these conditions is just staying busy. He's got to keep doing what he's been doing and hope that he picks something up with 2 of those turns.
What we were saying in the semi-finals, he's a very busy surfer naturally. He catches a lot of waves in heats, and especially free surfing. If anybody surfed with Rubes, they know he doesn't stop catching waves. So actually he's just upped his score again, a 7.0. So now the surfers in second, third and fourth need 9+ scores, almost an excellent score. And I don't think we've had anything near a 9 all event.
No.
So
what you're talking about is essentially 2
new waves. Yep. You need a combined score. You need a pair of 6.5s. Pair of 6.5s will get you.
Which doesn't sound quite as daunting as a 9.78 or a 9.14. It's more achievable. Here we go, up and riding in the yellow. A little slash from Russ Winter. He floats over that section. Oh, and a big slash there. And again, goodness me, this is more like the Russ we know. So he worked that one well. So we were talking about a couple of 6.5s.
That's going to chip away, yeah.
I mean, that has to go up into the 7s, I would say.
Ooh.
From what we've seen.
Anything above a 5.6, or was Jace's last wave, he jumps up into second place with a 5.6. So his requirement is now down to a 9.6, a 6.9 even. We have a decent score for Russ to come in. So it's starting to get a little bit tasty now. 5 minutes 40 seconds in the final of the day.
And what that does, when you get that wave just before the last 5 minutes, because psychologically the last 5 minutes often feel like, okay, now I just need one wave.
Yeah.
You know, usually you think, you don't want to be in a position where you need 8s and 9s in the last 5 minutes. You want to be in a position where at least you have a shot. Now Russ and Jace are going to be back out there looking for, you know, like Jace 6.9. Russ will also be looking for something similar, although I think his wave will go higher. I've got a feeling that could be close to the 7s.
Anything higher than a 5.6, and Russ's requirement is going to be under a 7. So they're within striking distance. That's the main thing. 5 minutes on the clock. Here we go. Here's my pick. Goes for a nice frontside reverse there.
Just spins a bit quick.
Yeah, a little bit of a whip out of that. And you kind of get a little bit disorientated anyway. plus you're in pretty much total darkness. So it is hard to kind of stay center over your board when you're rotating in the dark.
So Russ Winder only got a 5.0 for that wave.
Okay.
I'm surprised by that. I thought those turns were quite strong.
They were strong, but they were kind of shouldery. No verticality. But again, his requirement has now come down from a 9 to a 7.6, so he's in that striking distance. And we know Russ is capable of getting any score between 1 and 10. Winning was it the Coldwater Classic on a 10-point ride at Brimsness up in Scotland?
That was on a perfect barreling reef.
And there's Mr. B still out there.
He's way out.
He's loving it. Mr. B. The good thing is, you know where Mr. B is, you know there must be a surfer near him. So you kind of use him as your focal point, and then you kind of
look for any splashes.
Anything at all. There's yellow, Russ.
Do you know what? Quite often, I wish that we were surfing. Here we go. Russ having a look at this one. Has he seen something on this wave that no one else spotted? A little foam climb. Will this wave stand up? And he connects again. And again, he's just out there. That wave didn't really offer him very much. Oh, a little slash there from Ruben Ash. Still in a commanding first position. Oh, he's eyeing something up on the inside. He's hoping it's going to stand up and offer him a ramp.
Surfing to the rocks. There it is. Front tail high. Complete. So could that be the 5.6 moved out of the way, and then requirements are going to go up for our three surfers?
I think that was quite theatrical. I think the crowd loved it. We heard them applauding outside. The judges are going to like that. It's right under their noses.
What did he do before that, though? Otherwise, it was a long time just to get to that end section.
I was just about to say, there are occasions when I think, I wish I was in Australia. I wish I was in South Africa. Perfect waves. On an evening like this, under the floodlights, I think it's best that we are here at Fistral.
Yeah. A little bit of
rain.
rain.
Look at that, Josh Ash.
Hello.
That's 3 turns. He needs a huge score, though, to make this happen. Oh, look, it stands up on the inside. And a nice hit under the lights.
By the time he gets out back, he's probably still going to have just over a minute.
Here we go, having a look. This is Jace Robinson.
Been a bit quiet. That wave goes nowhere, so he kicks out. He knows he needs a 7, basically.
Russ Winter. Oh, that wave didn't offer him anything. It's such a lottery, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was talking to Kat earlier about the frustrations of being a surfer, because no matter how talented, no matter how good you are, if the wave doesn't give you a chance.
Wave don't come. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Get mad at the ocean? Taking that quote from
Robert Jardo, wasn't it?
I love that quote. What are you going to do? Get mad at the ocean?
I know that Rob got a little bit mad with his fellow competitors when they didn't give him an injury wild card one year, and that was the end of him on tour.
He also got mad the last time he competed here when he threw his board at the judging tower.
See?
After coming second.
Even the most mellow of humans, when you're in the heat.
Got that fire. You need the fire. 1.5 minutes remaining. Ruben Ash possibly going to make an improvement on that 5.6.
As you see up and riding in the white Jace. 1 turn and another one, just banks it off the white water, looking for that inside connection, and a third. Will this wave stand up again? Oh, he just gets hung up a little bit. He's looking for that connection, working it hard, just doesn't quite make it to the inside.
See his blonde locks flowing in the night breeze. Still waiting for these scores to drop in. Judges are just kind of milling over. Well, maybe it was just that one maneuver. Maybe he did nothing out the back, but I'd be surprised if he didn't do anything and then took the time to get all the way through to the inside and throw an air reverse. This is Ruben I'm talking about in the red. 45 seconds. We're watching the scores. I haven't seen anything near the requirements surfed in the last couple of minutes. So look, could be on lockdown for Surfer in red.
He just diligently worked away and added to his scores, didn't he?
Our tour champion from last year hits the ground running this year.
And it's a slightly shortened tour this year?
Yeah, 1 less event. Here we go, he's up and running again.
Oh, slightly missed time there. He's looking to make something happen, and again the wave just doesn't do what he expected it to.
And the shadows are playing havoc.
And it looks like there is your tour champion, UK Night Surf champ.
This is what you want to do if you're going to win this tour. You have to start strong, and Ruben's done that. One of his big rivals, two of his big rivals, Luke Dillon not here, Jay Quinn going out in the semi-finals.
It's a big step towards the trophy at the end of the year, but it's still a long year ahead.
So out of the 4 events this year, 3 is going to be counted for the overall tour. And you can see it's good to have people down on the beach that come down to watch festivities.
And there's our partner, Korev, who sponsored the UK Pro Surf Tour. This has been the Night Surf presented by Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who've done an amazing job to support us. Altco, Roxy, Quicksilver, Surf Ace, Wetsuits. As we look at a few of the highlights from the final. And it's incredible to think that this is happening in the night.
Yeah.
In the darkness.
There's maybe only 3 events on the whole planet that do night surf. We have one here, they have one down in France.
There's one in Durban as well, isn't there?
Which is way the last place you'd want to do a night surf.
Boom, there was a turn.
Yeah, that could have been the 7 we saw. Not sure if he still beat his last score, that air reverse. And then Josh Ash came to life from the very tail end of that heat. Jace Robinson never really got that back up, so I'm thinking Jace is going to stick in second. We're just going to double check the scores for the final of the Open.
It looks like it was Ruben Ash taking the win, Jace Robinson in second, Josh Ash in third, and narrowly missing out on third place was Russell Winter. So an incredibly close affair for the second, third and fourth, but Ruben Ash with a bit of daylight, well, on night light, as we say, between him and the rest of the field. So a very strong start to open up. And that was Russ Winter. This was the wave we really liked. Boom, I thought that was a big turn, followed by another good gouging slash. I think that was a little bit low. I thought the judges crueled him a little bit, but they are the experts. They paid very close attention all day, and their eyes are singeing from the sunset.
I think they're very happy with that last horn to finish the heat. Extremely tricky conditions yesterday. I'm not sure if you caught our webcast, but it was horrible conditions for us. Not much more fun for the surfers. And this last wave from Joss, I think if he just had a bit more time, he could have maybe got up into second place there, but he just ran out of time. 20 minutes for the finals. Normally we go 25 minutes, but we couldn't do that today just because the tide would have been way too low for our open final, and the lights wouldn't have worked.
Well, I mean, it's almost 11:30. What normal surfing event finishes 11:30? This is a proper grandstand finish.
This is that last wave of Rubes. Couldn't really find the lip there. He's just searching. You can just see that was just autopilot. The body just feeling the waves.
But he had it in the bag already.
Yeah. That was a victory lap, as they say, even with a little pop shove it in there as well.
So Lee, do you want to run us through the victors of the event?
Because of the event, we started with the under 14 girls, and it was Lauren Sandlin taking that out. In the under 14 boys, it was Lucas Skinner. Under 18 girls, it was Laura Sandlin again doing the double.
Now she's clearly a prospect to keep an eye on for the future.
Yeah.
I mean, to take out the under 18s and the under 14s gives you an idea of where she's at in her surfing at such a young age.
Local girl as well, surfing from Crantock. Under 18 boys was very impressive Stanley Norman. I thought he surfed incredibly well in that final. Up against 2 surfers who are the under 18s and under 16s UK Pro Tour champions as well. So
he did really well. That was an impressive showing.
And in the women's final is a very close fight between Ellie Turner and Peony Knight, with Ellie Turner taking the lead in the last dying minutes.
It was a really nice seesaw battle between the 2 girls. The 2 favourites, we'd have to say, in the final.
Yeah.
And I think Lauren Sandlin just ran out of steam, and she's got quite a few years yet to catch those girls.
But still, making 3 finals and under 14 in the women's final is a massive bonus. And then we just saw in the men's open, it was Ruben Ash, last year's tour champion, taking out the first event of our tour. We did have a delay. We should have done the Surface Pro at Watergate in May. That's now going to be in September. We have the Welsh Open.
September's the best time of year.
Yeah.
It's sunny, it's warm, the waves usually pump. It's going to be epic.
It will be for me because I'm going to be in Lanzarote.
Lovely.
But we've got the Board Masters coming up in August. Not part of our tour, but all of our surfers pretty much do it. We have the Welsh Open, which is going to be in October. Then the Thurso event is our crowning event, normally held in amazing waves up in the north of Scotland there. So
And there's such variety up there as well. It might be at Brim's Nest, it's at Thurso
Yeah,
East, there's
it's,
quality waves and guaranteed action.
it's the only event on tour where we kind of have a rolling venue. So wherever the best surf is on that day, it's normally a 4-day event. We'll find the best waves there.
So I want to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors again. Obviously, Fistral Beach Surf School and Hire. They've been fantastic to be part of this event. And then we've got Altco, who make those fantastic resin drives. We've got Quicksilver, we've got Roxy. Obviously, huge names in surfing. It's great that they're on board. And also Surf Ace, the new player on the block. Wetsuits from Europe.
Yeah, affordable, high-quality wetsuits, and I'm looking forward to getting one.
And then obviously check out ukprosurf.com/clean breaks. A fantastic initiative that's definitely worth your eyes.
And if you're around tomorrow, we're still going to be down here tomorrow. No more webcast, no more competition, but there's going to be a film, there's going to be a movie night, we're going to do a beach clean. What time tomorrow is the beach clean? Not sure, in the afternoon. So we're going to do a beach clean, which we're going to do at every event, every UK Pro Surf Tour event, we're doing a beach clean. We are now plastic free, so everyone who works for the UK Pro Surf Tour now has these plastic cups, reusable cups. We also have on board 2-minute beach clean for all our drinking vessels. We're hoping to be plastic free for the rest of the year, and every event we go to, we do a beach clean as well.
And do a little bit at home as well.
Yeah.
Pick up some rubbish, take your reused bags.
It doesn't have to be down the beach. If you see rubbish, it belongs in a bin. I mean, just it's common sense. There's no excuse for it in this day and age, I don't think, to...
Not anymore.
No.
Those days are gone.
Those days are gone. The sea is not a dumping ground for our rubbish. It's a playing place for us.
Happy World Gin Day. Happy World Ocean Day. We've got another half an hour left. And then we're going to wrap it up. Are we going to cut to the presentation?
Yep.
Are we? All right.
So we are going to go to the presentation. We'll have Nick Williams, who's come out of retirement for this event. Not sure if he's going to re-retire after this event.
Who knows?
We'll have a chat with him. But he's going to go down and do the presentation. And you see a few people down on the beach there ready to go. Wind's died off. Look at the flags. They're barely moving, really.
It's wisping onshore. In fact, some of the flags are offshore, some are onshore. I think that Extreme flag, and it's great to have Extreme on board as well.
Yep, wearing my Extreme t-shirt.
Nice. So those are those giant lights that have been keeping our surfers visually engaged.
Illuminated.
And the beach bar in the background there. Fantastic scenes.
And looks like we are ready to go then. We're going to head it down. We're going to go down. Are we ready to go down the beach there, Henry? We got a camera set up down there? Kinda.
Almost.
You see the surfers grabbing their boards, keep their sponsors happy. See young Alice Barton there on screen. Close second place for Alice in the under 80, under 14 girls. I can't remember now.
It's been a fun event actually, hasn't it? There's been some good surfing. I think the conditions have been challenging.
Yesterday was terrible. I don't think challenging is a fair description. It was terrible yesterday.
Super challenging.
Yeah. But Kat came in, she said tomorrow's going to be sunny, the wind's going to be a lot less strong from a different direction, and she was bang on, 100%. So again, thanks to Kat from Kat Surf Forecasts. Check her out online on her YouTube channel and on her Instagram as well, under those names, Kat with a K. It was great to have her down and doing her vlogs. She's going to be doing a live vlog as well coming out in the next few days.
You do that kind of stuff as well, don't you?
I do the odd video blog on shaping and stuff like that.
Where do you find that?
On my Lee Bartlett shapes on YouTube. Simple. Keep it simple.
Easy.
Yeah. So
nice.
We ready to go down, Henry? Yeah, they're still giving us the wishy-washy.
Just lining up the cameras, getting everything ready, perfectly framed. You know, there we go. There is Nick Williams, ready for action.
We're going to cut to Nick. He's got the double mic thing going. So thank you for watching our broadcast. We're going to see you again, probably, or in the Welsh Pro coming up in October, I believe. Until then, thank you from me, Lee, and Sam.
Thank you.
Enjoy the presentation. Peace and waves.
This one? Well, that's alright. probably just me speaking. Yeah, it might be that. It's just yeah, you're good. All right, I think we're already upstairs, so very big welcome to all of you people down here tonight. It's the biggest crowd we've had in a while. May have something to do with the good weather that we've had today, but toughed it out to all the competitors. Very big thank you to all of you for showing up. First event of the year here for the 2019 UK Pro Tour. You toughed it out yesterday. It was horrendous. I'm not sorry that I missed it, but yeah, it's been fun being here today. And there's been some very good surfing going on. This evening, the tide running in, we deal with it all the time. It's nothing new. Tough conditions and not huge, excellent range scores towards our finals. But still, nevertheless, very good performances in both men's and women's. A couple upsets along the way. So it has been a day of, well, minor drama, I guess, I suppose. But thank you to all of you. We'd like to say thank you to our sponsors. Fistral Beach are our cover sponsor for it. Fistral Beach Surf and Hire. I think I'll just stay over this side. We'd also like to say thank you to Korev, to the Boardmasters Foundation, Fistral Beach Bar, and to Nuki Bid. Sumo Media, for the live stream that we've been having, and then down to our staff, to all of the judges and all the media people behind the scenes, thank you very much for everything you do. Rick Stein for feeding us, the stable for the pizza, and to the surfers, and also to everybody who supported them. I could probably shout a little bit louder. But yeah, to all of you, if you wouldn't mind just giving those the aforementioned a round of applause. Thank you very much. All right, so into the results. Could we get the under 14 girls up here, please? I'm liking the spangly boots. You're looking the warmest here. All right, in fourth place, congratulations to Megan Webb. Yeah. Dave's got something. You take a little stand by me. Well done, Megan. Up on stage. Third place was Tegan Blackford. Second place, we have Belle Betteridge. And so 2019 Under 14 Girls Champion Lauren Sandlin, congratulations to you. I think we're supposed to give out some, I'm not very good on health and safety, but may contain some flash photography. I see it all the time, so. All right, thank you very much. To the under 14 boys next, please. Eli Perrin-Davies, Finn Gillespie, Otis Perry, Lucas Skinner. Now the girls at this age are still so nice. And these guys, this is where it starts to go sour for parents, you know. This is the trouble department here. So under 14 boys, some great surfing going on. It's always fun watching you kids surf. And at fourth place today, not having the greatest time out there, but surfing nevertheless well. Eli, come on over here, man. Eli Perrins-Davies. Long trip down from Wales to compete. Third place then, under 14 boys, was Otis Perry. Congratulations to you. Second place then, Finn Gillespie. Come on up. Check him out there. The smile's the only clue of his devilishness. So looking tidy with a normal haircut for a change, not so wild, but as wild as ever out there. Put your hands together for the under 14 boys champion. It is Lucas Skinner, of course. All right, congratulations to you four guys. We will go into the under 18 girls then. If we could ask Alice, Lauren, Francesca and Lily to come up here. Under 18 women. So under 18 girls, up to the front please. Good, Dave. All right. In fourth place, we had tonight Lily Mandeville. Congratulations, Lily. In third, Francesca. Come on up, Francesca Sayer. Second place then for under 18 girls, Alice Barton. Taking her second win of the night. Big round of applause, please. Once again, Lauren Sandland. Thank you very much. All right, under 18 boys, up please to the front. How come we've never had a four-step podium before? It's taken all these years to get a fourth person included, you know. Normally push them to the side. You did. All right, so for the under 18 boys, punching well above his division. In fourth place, we had Lucas Skinner here. Great performance. Make it to the finals of the under 18s. Third place in the under 18 boys, Barnaby Cox. Second place then goes to Noah Caps. Well done, Brett. Good surfing. Well done. And coming up, Stanley Norman, champion here, the under 18 boys division champ. It is Stan, of course. So hugely changed from just 6 months ago, I said earlier, and stand by that one. But some great surfing. It's always like the most exciting category in my eyes to go through. Well done. Well done, Lucas. Okay, so just the heavyweight divisions. Shouldn't say that towards women, eh? Was that rude of me? Is that politically incorrect? But women surfers, please. Our women's finalists, please come on up. Okay. All right, taking fourth place tonight, it is after 2 wins, Lauren Sandlin back in fourth place here. 3 podiums. Well done, Lauren. Third place this evening, Emily Curry. Congratulations, Em. All right, second place tonight. It is, of course, Peony Knight. Congratulations, P. You could probably claim a case of beer for your father, you know. All right, put your hands together. It is Ellie Turner to the top of the podium here, our women's champion, women's night surf champion. Give it up, Ellie Turner. I'm not sure if we can do this, but do you think we can try with 2 microphones for our open divisions? Come on, let's try this. Oh, here we go. I'm going to hold this for 1 second before you go crazy.
Oh, hello. Thanks to everyone who ran the contest. It was really fun. And well done to all the finalists. You all surfed really good. And all the other winners. Yeah. Oh, and my mum for driving me. Thank you.
That afterthought thrown in there for good measure. Well done. Check at that. Further proof of the multitasking skills of women. So our last division then, open men. I'm sure they must be pretty cold. I don't think anyone's had a chance to get changed. So men up onto the stage, please. All right, so nice to see Russ back at the beach. Our final in the men's, of course, they would have liked a lot better to perform in for us, but come on up, Russell Winter, fourth place here. Round of applause for us, mate. You stand right here. All right, third place then tonight, Joss Ash. Congratulations to you, my friend. All right, second place this evening goes to Jace Robinson. A slow start, but he got up there in the end. All right, and 2017 Night Surf Champion, now 2019 Night Surf Champion. Once again, congratulations must go to Ruben Ash. Give it up for this man. Rubes, from you.
Find the knot. Fix Right, thank you very much, guys. Obviously for putting on the event. Seen a lot of great surfing today, actually. It's really good watching all the kids coming up. They're all surfing really good. Everyone's got some real good little styles going on. Great to see Russ back in the water also. It's good to see him surfing again. I'm really stoked. And yeah, well done everyone for winning, and good surfing everyone. Thank you.
All right, so thank you very much to all of you for supporting the event tonight. Next event is when, Dave? What's our next date? To be confirmed with the date. But yeah, to all of you, from all of us here, thank you very much for this evening, and we'll see you soon. Start of the year is underway. Thanks a lot.